football play that Chris Farley calls in the scene with Rob Lowe when they go cow tipping. And we will go to Victoria to see if we can find the answer. Hi, Victoria. Good morning.
Good morning, bitches.
Hey, bitch.
I love that.
All right, Victoria, what is the football play that he calls?
He calls, I want a 32 belly option.
The 32 belly option. That's correct. Yep. Hang on just a second. Victoria, we got you a pair of tickets to see John Mayer, the solo acoustic tour. Special guest JP Sachs, Saturday, October 7th at Wells Fargo Center. And tickets are on sale now via wellsfargocenterphilly.com. And we just found Michael here. Hey, Mickey's in Hey Mickey,
That's
by
it?
the way. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Marissa brought that information in.
And the
Keep your
Bocelli's
feet
on.
shoulder width apart. Stay between the udder and the hock. It's a 32 belly option on 2 on 2. Ready?
The song you'd asked about, Steve, by Bocelli is called Porti Volare. It was by Volare. I actually have it.
Is that it? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is it.
I love this.
This is from Step Brothers.
Yeah. I love the original. And this is actually good, except for the boats and hose.
Right. All right. So any other questions we need to answer
We got them
before
all.
we get into the
We're like
entertainment
Ask
report?
Jeeves this morning, Preston.
All right. Well, Jeeves, we're going to start with this. Some information about Russell Brand. In 2008, apparently he exposed himself to a BBC employee and then proceeded to laugh about the incident exposure on his radio show live on the air. The alarming sexual harassment escalated when Brand told the woman that he was going to call her by Betty and aggressively stated that he was going to have sex with her. The BBC employee texted someone on Brand's team to inform them of the traumatic experience, and they replied saying they knew because he had proceeded to go on air and brag about the unacceptable behavior.
So there's audio evidence of that. She had asked to be called Harold, Preston.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
He was insistent on Betty. The incident was later reported to the BBC, and no formal action was taken, but now Brand faces many sexual assault and emotional abuse allegations as more people come forward with their stories. So,
Interesting.
yeah. A lawsuit filed this week shows that Sophie Turner is looking to have her 3-year-old and 14-month-old children be returned to England in the wake of her split from Joe Jonas.
What's Joe Jonas going to do?
The documents say that the former couple previously agreed on keeping England as their, quote, forever home during the 2022 holiday season. But compromises were made when Jonas started touring to allow the kids to join their dad on tour due to daytime availability.
Was there a point where they both resided in England?
I don't know. Legal representatives for Jonas confirmed Turner's claims that Jonas is withholding the children's passports and refusing to consent to the kids moving to England. It's about to get ugly.
It's going to get ugly. And she's called in Taylor Swift.
You can tell it right now.
know.
Speaking of Taylor, she can fill stadiums, and it's about to flood the zone in movie theaters. She is as well. But we found out this week she can also seriously get out the vote. Just days after Swift urged Swifties to register to vote on National Voter Registration Day in an Instagram story, they listened and signed up to do their civic duty in record numbers, apparently. So on Wednesday, Vote.org's communications director, Nick Morrow, wrote that Swift's plea resulted in a tidal wave of new registrations. He said, fun fact, after Taylor Swift posted on Instagram today directing her followers to register to vote, our site was averaging 13,000 users every 30 minutes.
So it's a record, right?
It's a record.
Yeah.
In a press release, the organization said it received a total of 35,252 new registrations on Tuesday, which marked the biggest national voter registration day since 2020.
They also say that's the only record she's generated that didn't talk about an old boyfriend.
In total, 157,041 eligible voters visited the site on Tuesday. The impressive figures represented a 22.5% jump in voter registration compared to the 2022 numbers. So she definitely has some influence. And
You can get that firepower behind your pickles, Preston.
Speaking of dating, for the last few weeks, the internet rumor mill, of course, has been working overtime, trying to figure out whether Kansas City Chiefs Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are dating. And on Thursday, he spoke on the issue himself. And he said that so many people are passing along misinformation that it has gotten out of hand. And to make matters worse, his brother Jason seems to take pleasure in adding fuel
seriously?
to the fire. He said
You would not be a good brother if you didn't agitate.
He said it's hilarious how much traction this has gotten. Right now, it's like the old game in school called telephone, where everyone is whispering in everyone's ear and hearing random stuff.
I mean, at this point, if they're not, they have to at least meet up and see if it's going to work out.
He says no one actually knows what's going on, especially when you've got Jason Kelsey on live television telling people both sides. The guy can't stay out of the freaking headlines.
Well, the way he said it, too, he was like, it's all 100% true.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it was clearly sarcastic.
Yeah, so Travis said that he isn't too bothered by the drama, acknowledging that he sparked the rumors on his own podcast, and he even revealed one of his pickup lines for Swift. But he said, nah, that's life, baby. I threw it out there. I threw the ball in her court. I told her, you know, I've got you. I've seen you on the rock stage in Arrowhead. You might have to see me rock the stage in Arrowhead and see which one is a little more lit. We'll see what happens in the near future, but they're not. No, he tried.
Yeah. Has she ever dated or been with an athlete? It's always usually musicians or actors, right?
Right. So recently was a dude from the 1975.
Right.
And
that was quick.
I think John Mayer. He's not an athlete.
Right. So no athletes in her history. She's the anti-Kardashian.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
I don't know. HBO Veep star Matt Walsh is taking a beat from appearing on Dancing with the Stars after the Writers Guild of America called for Walsh and other star-studded cast members to halt involvement.
It kind of leaves them scrambling, right?
A statement from SAG-AFTRA stated that union members who already signed the agreements pre-strike are not in violation of strike rules and have contractual obligations to show up for work. While SAG-AFTRA noted their solidarity with the Writers Guild, they also mentioned their awareness of obligations under federal labor law for people who do not deliver on their work promises, which were finalized prior to the strike.
So if the contract was finalized prior to the strike and they have a start date, the union will not stand in the way of them going to work.
They say because of obligations under federal labor law.
Okay.
So they can't.
So, all right. So if you had signed the contract to begin a movie, does that hold as well?
Know.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Well, Preston, what were you saying yesterday in around this time where we were talking about, like, if they didn't sign the agreement yesterday, that they might not sign it for a while? Was that okay?
Yeah, it might not be till after the first of the year.
And was there any developments on that?
Haven't seen anything
Nothing.
on it yet.
I was looking too.
Yeah.
They were talking about it. They are really at the absolute end, crunch time wise, to get content for what they would classically refer to as the fall season.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, now we're going to dive into the Kardashian and Jenner sphere.
Now we're talking.
And see what's going on in that realm, because I do have
Welcome aboard the Jenner Sphere.
a couple of stories.
A marvel of technology running on 2,000 separate dilithium crystals. Daisy chained by an ion transfer system.
That's a lot of dilithium
It's
crystals.
a lot, Preston.
Wow.
The journey is long.
Photos of Courtney.
That's our spatial disruptor that blasts asteroids out of the way. Traveling at the velocity that we travel at, it could be deadly to collide with anything, even the smallest particle. You could, of course, imagine what an asteroid would do.
Fortunately, you have the Navicomputer.
The Navicomputer's always there at the ready.
Right.
Navicomputer, Earl Grey, hot.
It's like a replicator. too.
Exactly,
Okay, wow. So Courtney and Miranda Kerr's.
That's the largest of my daughters, or stepdaughters.
And Miranda Kerr's baby bumps emerged on the Kardashian star's social media page yesterday. The Instagram story sported posed pictures of the duo drinking smoothies and showing off their baby bumps.
Oh my God. Can I have a sip of your smoothie?
Kerr reposted the shot of herself sipping on an Erewhon smoothie.
Jesus.
What is an Erewhon smoothie?
I don't know.
It's a smoothie with
Erewhon. I'm not all that familiar with that.
Isn't that a young Jedi? An Erewhon?
No, that's a Padawan.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, that was on her Instagram page, and it said, "Love seeing my other pregnant mama," followed with purple heart emojis.
Kourtney Kardashian has her own. They all apparently have these super huge makeup photo staging areas, and they're the size of airplane hangars. They're enormous.
Yeah.
Now, Kylie Jenner recently revealed that a photo of Timothy Chalamet is on her phone's lock screen.
Oh my God.
A photo shared via El Mexico's Instagram
Oh, hey.
shows the 26-year-old holding up her phone on Thursday,
That's my boyfriend.
exposing a selfie of the unofficial couple.
He's Willy Wonka.
Relationship rumors have been swirling about the pair since April. So.
Speaking of swirling.
Erewhon is like a store. It's just the brand. Of
Oh,
the
okay.
smoothie.
All right, I gotcha. Angus Cloud's cause of death has been revealed close to 2 months after his death at the age of 25. The Alameda County coroner told People Thursday that the Euphoria star died of acute intoxication following an accidental overdose.
Oh, boy.
He had cocaine, methamphetamine, fentanyl, and benzos in his system at the time of his death. News of Cloud's death first broke on July 31st. So it was, it was an OD.
So sad.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
And it's happening so much.
Yeah.
It's like every day, every other day.
Well, here's a happy story to counteract that one. Jack Osborne and Ari Gerhardt revealed yesterday that they tied the knot last week after a 2-year engagement.
I was wondering who they were.
The Osborne's alum wrote on Instagram, "Something really cool happened, and I married the most amazing woman I've ever met, all in."
And Ozzy performed the ceremony.
No.
Yeah.
Did he really?
I do.
The couple shares a daughter, Maple, who celebrated her first birthday back in July. Kerry Washington recalled how dark things became while battling her eating disorder.
Never knew she had. Right, I saw this article. I'm like, well, when did she have an eating disorder?
Yeah, she was having a candid conversation with Robin Roberts. She told the 2020 host that she contemplated suicide amid a toxic cycle of self-abuse that utilized the tools of starvation, binge eating, body obsession, and compulsive exercise.
Have you ever been close to someone who has an eating disorder? I
No,
have, yeah.
I have not.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
family member.
I dated somebody who did, and
No kidding.
it impacted her entire life, and she had moved past it, but it was still a part of who she was.
It's almost like being
is.
a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah,
right?
and the way that it impacted her in her teens and early 20s was really profound and damaging.
Yeah, I have I would that would be interesting as far as trying to learn firsthand from someone who has that condition. You know what I mean?
And you know what? The interesting thing is that, and you'll see this, and they'll tell you about this, Casey. They'll people who are going, say, whether it's anorexia or whatever, will go through the same mechanisms to distract from that. You know, like they'll move food around on a plate.
Yeah,
or
like
what-
they have their techniques
their
to
technique.
try to trick
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
There was it was a friend's sister actually passed away from anorexia. So she starved herself to death, and it was like excruciating at the end. I mean, she refused to eat.
Kathy, there are actually these influencers. You see them pop up. There are a couple of them that are. One just passed away. Just died. She was an influencer.
It was just a rail.
I mean, in the most unhealthy way, but she's
Yeah.
showing makeup stuff, and it's like, and apparently it's seductive to people who are prone to body dysmorphia. So it's bad.
Yeah, I have a hard time wrapping my mind around it because I love to eat.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
like
mean?
food too
Yeah.
much.
We're fighting it from the other side.
Yeah, totally. So she had said that I could feel how the abuse was a way to really hurt myself, as if I didn't want to be here. It scared me that I could not want to be here because I was in so much pain.
So sad.
The full interview is slated to run on ABC on Sunday. Michael Caine tentatively claims that he will retire after his next role. Beginning his career in made-for-TV movies, Caine is one of the most prolific actors of his generation. He's now 90 years old.
He is also a revered acting teacher. In his last film, he wanted to be Jaws 5, correct?
No. He has appeared in over 100 titles, including everything from blockbusters like The Dark Knight to high-level dramas such as The Cider House Rules. His next project will be in the Oliver Parker-directed The Great Escaper. And according to The Hollywood Reporter, he is sort of in retirement and may end his career after this.
They were working a script for the Stream of Consciousness now.
He said, I'm sort of retired now. I'm bloody 90 now, and I can't walk properly and all that. I've had the best possible life I could have thought of. The best possible wife and the best possible family. They may not be a family that other people would say is the best possible family, but the best possible family for me. And he said, I'd like to be remembered for the fact that I remained an actor all my life and I never went into anything else. I never left and I never wanted to leave.
There are a few scenes in Dark Knight Rises where he's trying to do whatever he can to save Bruce's life, and they're heartbreaking. And
He's brilliant.
His performance, and Steve, I know you have a variety of favorite Batman and Alfreds, but he's my favorite Alfred, and he's a terrific actor in that movie.
No, he's sensational, especially when he's explaining the modus operandi of the Joker in the Dark Knight.
Yeah, but then he thinks he loses Bruce at one point, and Dark Knight Rises, and it's just heart wrenching.
You know, he has a documentary about his time in the swinging days of the '60s in London. All his friends, Preston, were like the Rolling Stones and all that stuff, and he was there. His career was just taking off in the movies, and it's one of the best documentaries about that time. The Beatles, all of that group that he was in and around. It's pretty fascinating.
Yep. So he might hang it up. We'll see. We will see. A couple other quick things, and we'll move on to movies and clips. Seth MacFarlane is donating $5 million to the Entertainment Community Fund. It's part of the gift. As part of the gift, ECF and MacFarlane have teamed up to launch a $10 million initiative in the hopes of attracting more donors during the work stoppage that has left thousands unemployed. The Family Guy creator already donated $1 million to ECF in July for its efforts in supporting industry professionals amid Hollywood's dual strike.
If he's handing out money, I'd like to propose that he donate some money to the Keep Preston Dry This Weekend Fund.
Let him play golf fund.
Yeah. It's going to require a lot.
All right, and then one other thing. Crossroads will return to theaters for a limited time. Variety reports the 2002 Britney Spears vehicle will play for 2 nights. October 23rd and 25th.
Not the Ralph Macchio.
No, that's what I thought,
would
too.
go see that.
As part of a fan event tied to Spears' upcoming memoir called The Woman in Me, which drops on October 24th, Crossroads will play at 875 locations across 24 countries and will include a bonus sing-along of 2 Spears songs that were part of the film. I don't remember that at all.
I remember seeing it when it came out. And who else is in it?
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan
Aykroyd, and there's another big star who would become a big star. And why am I having a brain fart?
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, so, and you know what?
Taryn Manning, Kim Cattrall.
Yeah, there you go.
Justin Long. We're looking at the list of actors. And
I do like that
actresses.
Ralph Macchio Crossroads.
It's really good.
That's a pretty good movie. Yeah.
I've never seen that one. Is it good?
Yeah, it is.
I liked it a lot. And Steve Vai makes an appearance in the end of the
Wow,
movie.
but not Joe Satriani.
Not Joe Satriani.
That cat really knows how to play.
He does.
But so does Steve Vai.
Yeah.
Okay.
This cat really knows how to play guitar.
Watch out for
Watch the movie Crossroads.
All right, movies are opening this weekend. Let's talk about it. All right, we got The Expendables 4 opening. Action adventure, Jason Statham, 50 Cent, Megan Fox, armed with every weapon they can get their hands on, and the skills to use them. The Expendables are the world's last line of defense, and the team that gets called when all other options are off the table. But new team members with new styles and tactics are going to give new blood a whole new meaning. Hour and 43 minutes long, rated R, wide theater release, Rotten Tomatoes score, 15%.
Oh, come on.
Well, this is like all of the people that you kind of want to see in The Expendables are not in this.
Oh,
you know?
never mind.
Yeah,
right.
like Andy Garcia's in it, and they say that he looks like he really doesn't want to be in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
All
he's
right.
picking up a check.
Also up this weekend, Spy Kids, Armageddon.
I've always loved the Spy Kids movies.
Yeah, family action comedy. Gina Rodriguez, Zachary Levi, Connor Esterson. When the children of the world's greatest secret agents unwittingly help a powerful game developer unleash a computer virus that gives him control of all technology, they must become spies themselves to save their parents and the world. Hour and 48 minutes long. Rated PG, limited theater release and streaming today on Netflix, by the way. No score at Rotten Tomatoes, so you have to find out for yourself. And then finally, It Lives Inside is a horror movie. It stars Nero Bajwa, Megan Suri, and Mohana Krishnan. Sam, an Indian-American teen, lives in an idyllic suburb with her conservative mother and her assimilated father. Sam's cultural insecurities grow due to her estranged friend, Tamira, who mysteriously carries around an empty mason jar all the time. In a moment of anger, Sam breaks Tamira's jar and unleashes an ancient Indian demonic force that kidnaps Tamira. Sam searches for Tamira, following the trail of a young man who performed a deadly ritual until the demonic entity starts targeting her, murdering her boyfriend, and shattering her reality with terrifying visions. Hour and 39 minutes long, rated PG-13, limited theater release, Rotten Tomatoes score a 67.
So, there's an interesting compare and contrast the cultures. So they keep demons in their mason jars, and we keep farts.
Yeah. That's what we do.
Which is kind of demonic as well. Yeah. I also want to just bring up the fact that The Machine, Burt Kreischer's movie, is going to be available on Netflix this weekend.
That's right.
And I really enjoyed it. I want you guys to watch it.
I did.
So we can. I know you did. But so we can talk about it.
Okay.
Because there were some really funny moments that I want to talk about.
Fair enough. Here's our next clip, our first clip, actually. Sex Education is entering its final season of the show, and in this clip, Emma Mackey, one of the lead actresses in the series, talks about her relationship with the cast and her time working on the show.
You said the word. They are my family and have been for the past couple of years. It was my first job, so I've learnt everything, pretty much. A lot, not everything, but I've learnt a lot on that show, so it means the world to me. But I'm excited to see what happens in season 4 and where we take her, and it'll be, I have a lot to do and learn about in this last season, so yeah.
Shut the up! I watched some of this. I didn't.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's really good. Gillian Anderson is in it, and it's just an ensemble cast in this rural town in somewhere in the United Kingdom. But it was a good show.
Is she rocking her British?
In this one, she is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Season 4 of Sex Education is now streaming on Netflix. Here's our next clip. Straight out of the John Wick universe, the Continental is based on the chain of hotels around the world that serve as a neutral ground for members of the underworld. And in this clip, director Albert Hughes talks about having a different attitude with directing this series.
So I didn't know until they asked me to do it how much fun I would have. We were all coming out of COVID, and it was so stressful at the time. And I remember thinking I had a couple of choices of what I was going to do next. And one of them had to deal with, again, social issues and generational trauma, the stuff I've done before. And I just looked at this one and I go, I just want to have fun. They look like they're having fun.
Yeah!
First episode of the Continental streams on Peacock today.
Hope this is good, because I find that whole world of the Continental and the rules that it lives by and operates by to be very fascinating.
Yeah.
All right, we shall see. Did you want me to give one of these?
Yeah, just one.
Okay, so if you are a fan of one of my absolute heroes, Mr. Neil Peart, there is a show that is coming up. It's not till January 6th, but it will be at the Keswick Theater, and it's called the Bubba Bash 2024, and it's a celebration of the drumming of Neil Peart. And another friend of ours, Mike Portnoy, is going to be performing at this event. And we also have Joe Bergamini and Why Not will be performing, and many more. It's just a big Rush and Neil tribute. Tickets go on sale today at 10 a.m., by the way. So we'll take caller number 15 at 215-263-WMMR, and it's on us. You can go to the show if you like. In fact, you can go to WMMR.com to get the complete details about that.
Are you going? You've got to be going to that, right?
I probably will. It's on a Saturday night, so yeah.
You've got to commit. Listen, Mike Portnoy, we've had him on the show. He's great, but he just doesn't, we got to get him on again.
He doesn't do mornings, period.
Yeah.
I've talked to him a couple times, and he won't budge.
What if we were to reset the clocks in his house?
We might be able to pull that off. We'll see. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a moment. Glenn Howerton in the studio, Kelly Ripa joining us. Crumb Bum Cash. There's a lot to get to. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve. All 93.
Good morning, it.
Good morning, it.
Just hanging out. Good morning, it.
What you doing over there, buddy?
What are you doing?
Just good morning, it.
Good morning, it.
Yeah, no, I have a home office.
You're going to have to hang on a second.
Look it.
Just hanging out. Good morning, it.
Good morning it. Look it. It's good morning it outside. Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Michael. Good morning it.
The Cabbage Patch, though, was such a huge hit, and they smelled nice. They smelled like baby powder.
Like babies.
And so
that was like fight over them at the store during Christmas.
Right.
Oh, there were bullets.
They would release new ones.
Kathy, that Schwarzenegger movie,
Jingle All the Way.
That is predicated on those famous toy store brawls over Cabbage Patch dolls.
But the cool thing about Cabbage Patch, they all had Xavier or whatever the guy's last name's
on the butt.
They all had a tattoo. They were all branded.
The Cabbage Patch dolls were part of the Nexium cult.
But so I have a very vivid memory of I got my first Cabbage Patch doll. I couldn't wait. I was 10 years old. I got him for my 10th birthday. You get the birth certificate. And I was able to rename them, right? So you send that thing and you get the birth certificate back. And so mine was named Casey Jr. I was so excited to get this thing, right? And
the Cabbage Patch doll,
Cabbage Patch doll. I was so, because it was the thing. I was 10 years old, too.
Right.
It was the thing. It was the thing that everybody had and whatever. My neighbor across the street, and I'm going to say your name. Your name's Wayne, and you're a piece of trash, because he called me the slang word for a gay person.
Because you had a doll?
Because I had a doll. He was an adult, Kathy. This dude is probably like 30 years old. Called me, and I was so happy about having this thing for my birthday.
That's terrible.
And he called me
terrible.
that. Terrible.
What a jerk. How old were you? And
I
how
was
old were you?
10 years old.
10 years old.
And it was my birthday.
What a dick.
What a
I know. But like, oh my God.
Where's that dick now?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Wayne.
All right.
Terrible person.
How many times you asked that question in your life, Kathy?
God, where's that dick now?
When I need it.
There are so many dicks that I'm wondering where they are.
Yes. All right, back to toys.
All right.
Toys.
Time. So,
Casey's in therapy now.
American Girl dolls.
I'm out of it now. I'm out of it.
And then there was we already did another pre-screening. Like Marissa hosted that, right?
She hosted it last night at the AMC Fashion District.
It was last night, and then Casey hosted a screening last week
At the same exact place.
for the movie Free Guy.
Yeah.
And while we were on vacation, we got a text from Casey out of nowhere explaining that things didn't go quite the way he wanted them to.
So if it's possible to suffer a concussion without actually hitting your head, that's what I think you experienced, Casey.
Yeah. And so I don't want to. I'm hoping.
I'll find the text.
Okay,
Here, I'll read it.
I'm hoping that I didn't lead you guys down in the wrong direction of where you think this story is going to go.
No, we don't know anything. We know that, but it was so heartfelt, the text you sent out, that we knew it had to, because there have been similar situations in all our lives. But this one seemed like, wow, this really had to be a little bit more.
Yes. So I have the text here.
Okay,
it
go
says,
ahead.
"Oh my God, I'm at the screening for Free Guy." And by the way, I sent you this text. I'm still there. I have not hosted the screening yet. Okay, I'm still there. I have already embarrassed myself, and I needed to go somewhere and be by myself, decompress for a second, and then I had to admit to somebody what an ass I am, and just to sort of make myself feel a little bit better. And guess what? It didn't help. I still felt terrible. And I said, so they asked me to hype up the crowd and then introduce one of the stars of the movie. So this guy named Joe Keery, who plays Steve from Stranger Things, is in the movie Free Guy.
Yeah.
He was there to introduce the film, and I was there essentially to introduce him.
Right.
So I had come back I was on vacation in Wildwood. I had come back just to do this. I thought it was a really cool experience.
Real quick, had you met him at this point, or is he still?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
By the way, he seems like he's awesome. I love that character, Steve from Stranger Things. He seems like I've seen him interviewed before. He seems like a cool guy.
He was a great guy.
Okay.
And I will say that, categorically, he was a great guy, and the movie is hilarious. It's a great movie. And the movie had been on the shelf for a year.
Yes.
They wanted a theatrical release, and so they were like, we're just going to wait.
Only theater.
And only theater. So, and then I wrote, I just had a classic embarrassing moment. It's a classic shut the F up, Casey, and walk away kind of a moment. I'm pretty embarrassed, but it's also a really funny story. So,
and you said you weren't sure if it was going to translate on the air.
I'm not sure if it's going to translate on air.
Okay.
So,
well, let's hear it.
Well, deliver it in the original Farsi.
Right.
All right, so here's the deal. This movie was at the Fashion District, the old Galleria, the AMC there. It had never been there. By the way, what they've done to the place, the whole Galleria, the Fashion District, is awesome. It's really, really nice. So I get there. Joe had gotten there earlier than planned.
From the movie company.
But I had also gotten there an hour early, so I decided to walk around a little bit.
Right.
Side story, but it also is part of the story. I went to a place called Wetzel's Pretzels. Have you guys ever heard of Wetzel's Pretzels?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Philadelphia Pretzel Factory, and I love Annie Ann's.
Yeah.
Wetzel's Pretzels is like the best pretzel I have ever had in my entire life. I couldn't, and I was so happy with myself for going, you know what? I've never had a Wetzel's pretzel. Let me stop by and try one, right? Hey, me. And this thing was amazing.
And you were really proud of yourself.
And I was really proud of and I couldn't believe how it was big.
Oh, is this hand shocked?
Yes. It was amazing. And I'm sitting there, I'm eating this thing, and I'm going, I think I need to open a franchise. I'm like, this is like I have just discovered gold for the first time. That was like amazing. So I get done eating the pretzel, and Hannah from Allied Advertising she's my handler, and she says, "Hey, Joe's here. I can bring you back to meet him." I'm like, okay. I decide to use Wetzel's Pretzels as an icebreaker. Okay.
Well, you were completely enamored of Wetzel's Pretzels. It would be ridiculous not to.
Okay. I've been sober almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I go into this place like I had just done 7 rails of coke. Okay.
You're hyped up.
I'm hyped up. Okay. And let me also preface this by saying I'm fairly aware of who I am as a person and what I am as a person. And sometimes I have, how do you say, no chill.
You have moments.
Yes. No,
I had these moments. But listen,
that's a valid criticism of yourself.
Right.
But as we've told you throughout the years, to put a tap on that would be throwing out the baby with the bathwater, because that same energy delivers so much greatness to what we do
on the radio.
On the radio.
Okay. In person.
Sometimes the radio.
With a stranger.
Yes.
Might be different.
So
yes. Like someone who's never met you.
Right.
Who's in a new town promoting a movie.
And there are 3 people in this room that have never met me. And so, as the great Ted Lasso once said, "Know thyself, rest in peace, Socrates." I did not realize as I was going off the rails what was going on here. So I'm brought into this room. I go off on Wetzel's Pretzels. As it turns out, all 3 people in the room have heard of Wetzel's Pretzels before.
Oh, good.
And yes. So it was relatable. It was relatable, and we had this in common.
You picked the perfect icebreaker.
All right. So I meet Joe. Joe's a great guy. And then I meet 2 of his handlers. One of them, the female, was from Disney, right?
Yeah.
So she was his handler from the movie company. Hannah, who had brought me in and introduced me, has now left this room. We're in like this office, and I just go off the rails. That's all. Like, I was just being nice. I was being a nice guy, and I just didn't shut up for like 5 minutes straight. And
that's sometimes your Caseyism. Like, you don't know when to end it.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Well, so I had 2 or 3 different times talked myself into a corner.
Well, let me jump in here also. Throughout the years, and it used to be the thing where I had asked, if you realized this story was not going anywhere, and then an asteroid hit the Earth.
Yes.
I asked you to say, and then an asteroid hit the Earth, and we all died.
Right. So there were a couple of, and listen, this is Steve from Stranger Things, and and prior to this, I thought maybe I was going to have to do a Q&A with him, so I did a little bit of research about him, and so I knew a little bit more about this gentleman. And as it turns out, I wasn't doing a Q&A. I was just introducing him, and that's fine. Yeah. So. Hannah's not there. I know, like, I have to leave. I have to get out of here. Like, I am,
I'm in a pretzel loop.
I have overstayed my welcome. I have moved on from pretzels. I don't even know what I don't know what the bridge from pretzels to Van Wilder was. But now I'm at Van Wilder, and because Ryan Reynolds is in Van Wilder.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So, and I'm relaying the story.
Another icebreaker.
I had a really great interaction and encounter with Ryan Reynolds at the Van Wilder screening and press junket in Panama City, and I'm relaying this story, and then I just hear a knock at the door. And I'm like, okay, let me answer the door. It's Hannah from Allied Advertising. So I open the door, and she goes, hey, there's some people out here who want to have their picture taken with you. And I go, oh, okay, And I start walking out the door. I get halfway out the door, and I go...
You weren't talking to me, were you?
Wait, no.
Oh, no.
No,
what?
She was talking to me.
Okay, all right.
All right. But I kind of made a joke like, Joe, no, they want some pictures. And she goes, no, they want pictures with you, with me. I'm like, oh, okay. And I walk halfway out the door, and it dawns on me that There's nobody out there to take pictures with me.
Oh my God.
The girl from Disney
Oh, God, said-
essentially texted Hannah like, dude,
get him
get
outta
this
here."
guy the F out of here.
Oh no. Oh no.
Right? And it dawns on me, and I step out the door.
Oh God.
And then I turn back. I go, wait a second.
Oh God.
I go, did you send her a text message to tell her to come and get me?
Oh no. Oh no.
She did. She
I
flat
know,
out did. I go, you did. I go, it's fine. I go, I get it. I go, I'm so sorry, man. Listen, sometimes I have no chill or whatever. But I go, I know you totally did that, right? And then I shut the door and I walk away with Hannah and I go, did she send the text message? She goes, yeah, she did.
All right, thanks, Kath. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but we got into a discussion with Casey, and we'll have to retrace our steps and find out how this happened.
2 days ago.
It was 2 days ago, but I want to retrace our steps and figure out why you were conflicted or why you felt the need to buy jeans, because Casey is anti-jeans.
Yeah.
He's a sweatpants guy.
guy.
Okay.
Like I became a winter shorts guy.
Right.
And today I'm wearing jeans for the second day in a row because it's a presentability.
Did you feel as though you needed to wear jeans after we had this discussion?
No, I'm going somewhere after this.
Oh, you're going somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
So it would be inappropriate.
Now, sorry. Did I just wanted to ask one question? Did when you walked down the hallway, did Bill yell, "Oh, where do you have to go today? You look nice."
No, but he did call from the
because
side.
that's what he does to me.
Yeah, no, but he did. Bill did call up and go, I never see you in jeans.
Oh, he did say
Yeah,
it?
he did, yeah.
Oh.
But he didn't tell me I look nice.
So he pays attention to what we're wearing.
Casey, what was the impetus for you to want to buy jeans? I've forgotten.
There was a story that you had about.
Which, by the way, he bought some. That's why we're going here.
There was
Go
a
ahead.
story that you had about a fashion trend that I think was coming back.
Oh, jorts. That
and
was
then, but my dilemma with jeans is that, and I didn't even do this on purpose. So I wear Adidas pants all the time, and but I have these Nike sneakers that Tyrone down the hall said I'm not allowed to wear Nike sneakers and Adidas pants.
Right.
And so I was like, well, crap.
By the way, I saw him wearing white after Labor Day.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh my God.
So I was, but I also needed new jeans anyway, because the only jeans that I have are like these giant boot cut jeans that are a little bit too long. And I wanted a jean that was kind of like more tapered.
Listen, you've been getting yourself in shape. You want it to be something that's a little more contoured, that makes you look a little bit more fashionable.
But here's what I didn't necessarily mean to do on purpose, and I didn't even realize it until I threw my hat on. But take a look at what I'm wearing today. Okay. I've got an Adidas hat.
You got Adidas?
Now, this is an Adidas shirt, but it's a Fish shirt.
Right.
That's the name of a song, but with the Adidas logo.
Yeah, you're wearing all Adidas.
I'm wearing Adidas pants.
Adidas.
Adidas sneakers.
Yep.
And
Adidas socks.
I feel like you should go talk to Tyrone because I feel like that's not okay.
I feel like that's not okay.
That's
Right?
overkill.
So you're
That's
completely decked out in Adidas.
Yes.
I don't see it. It's kind of it is a little bit much, but the outfit as an athletic outfit looks completely appropriate.
You need like generic brand socks.
Yeah.
And like you need a different hat, maybe like a Phillies hat or
Now
something.
we were talking about the issue with your jeans, and you needed jeans that could accommodate your huge hog.
Right,
was the
right.
big discussion.
So,
Please tell me, did you get the big thigh hockey jeans?
No.
Ah,
no.
damn
I
it.
went to a store, and so we were in.
You went to a store.
I went to several stores actually, Steve. We were at Subaru yesterday, so and then somebody told me, I can't remember who. They're like, oh, you got to go check out the Levi's store in the Cherry Hill
Subaru?
Mall.
No.
No, Cherry Hill Mall. It's not that far away. So I went there first. And listen, I'm going to name some stores. And they're all great, and I love them. But I didn't get jeans at any of these stores because I had no idea how expensive jeans could be.
Yep.
Dude,
They are.
and they got more expensive as I went from store to store. So I left the Levi's store because I was like, I'm not paying $98 for a pair of jeans.
Who can I help you, sir?
The people that worked there were really, really nice, and I felt bad. And I tried some jeans on just to see what I liked and how they fit. And I wanted that the stretchiest material.
Uh-huh.
But if you found a pair that fit you perfectly, would you have paid the $98?
Nope.
No.
No,
Okay,
no,
so that
no.
was too expensive for you.
So let me ask you, the high end of what you were seeing cost-wise was how much for these jeans?
Okay, it got more expensive as I went from store to store.
So what did it top
So
out at?
I'm getting there. I left the Levi's store, no 98. I went to J. Crew. They were over $100 at J. Crew.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Next.
And then the next I went to Express. It topped out at $150
At
for
Express?
for a pair of jeans.
$150 for a pair of jeans.
Yes.
Which used to be the kind of the garbage garment.
No.
Right?
Yes.
And now it's $150.
$150. And then I ended up, I probably should have gone to Old Navy, but I ended up at American Eagle and I found two pairs of jeans there that I liked.
At American Eagle?
At American Eagle.
Caca.
How much were they?
Those were $49 a piece.
Oh,
Right.
Now.
If you wanted both legs, $80.
Right.
I couldn't decide whether or not I liked the one pair of the, so I just got them both. And then I texted my wife, and yes.
Did you go to Kohl's?
I didn't.
Kohl's is really good.
Well, I should have gone to Walmart. I should have gone
Kohl's
to
bucks.
And
a liberal return policy.
I'm happy with my purchase. I am happy with my purchase, but
I told you that their denim is known for their stretch. So
yes.
I think that.
So I got a decent
perfect.
stretch, but then I texted my wife. I let her know, and then she's like, "Oh, did you get them for this price?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Oh, this is what they are online." She's like, "Go back in there right now and ask them for a price match." And I was like, I am not going back into that store for a price match.
Well, you'd set her off because you came home with some magic beans that you drank. Right.
Well, then she goes, just go to the Springfield Mall and exchange them there. I'm like, okay.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not going to go back into the store that I left 5 minutes ago.
Why? You can. You
I
can
would have
show
been embarrassed.
them.
I know.
I would have said, I didn't get the price that, look, here's the price online. I thought it would be the same. They'll price match you. It's easy for them.
I know.
In fact, they'll do that to keep a customer happy.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, I'll just go to a different one.
So where did you finally end up? And what that was the brand that seduced you?
That's the brand that seduced me.
And their line is called the Hog Line.
The Hog Line.
What brand was it?
American Eagle.
American Eagle.
Well,
okay.
speaking of hogs, side note, they have underpants there. They have these candy corn underpants that have a giant candy corn in the front that your hog is supposed to
Dude, that's
go
pretty
into.
awesome. Did you get them?
Oh, no, because I needed a real life size candy corn to
You
put my
could have
hog.
gotten them for us as like a little stocking.
I probably should have.
Did you bring the jeans with you?
I did. I did.
Are you going to put them on?
You want me to?
Yes, that's what the whole thing is about.
Go put them on.
I'm surprised you're not wearing them now.
Steve, you talked about jeans being at one point the bottom of the barrel kind of price. But if you remember, we're looking at the candy corn.
That's great.
Pant or underwear.
Yeah.
And that's pretty funny.
I love it.
That's very novelty. But you remember in the TV show The Bear?
Yes.
At the beginning, he sells vintage jeans.
That's right. Yeah.
And he keeps them. Remember, he keeps them in his oven.
In the oven.
They can go for hundreds, like several hundreds of dollars.
In a way, they become what sneakers are, which so that again used to get there'd be a bin. I remember we used to get sneakers. There was a bin of them at the supermarket, and suddenly they jumped over into high fashion and to these collectibles. Yeah, the collectible jeans thing blows me away.
Well, okay, so I just want to give you like a little insight into buying jeans. So it's like Casey's right, like the price of them and how expensive they're getting is ridiculous. So people are actually buying the ones that are lesser names, that they're not these big huge name brands. And a friend of mine,
Betty White.
She owns a store in Paoli. It's called Mainline Fashionista. That's the name of her store. And she sells jeans for $69. Like, that's what her store is known for, are the jeans that are only $69, which you guys might think that's a little bit
It's a little
high,
up there, but it's not $150.
But it's not $150, and they're like, you're getting the quality of the high-priced jeans at only $69.
All right, Casey's coming in. He's wearing a pair of jeans. Kathy, I can't see. Do tell.
He looks so good.
Does he? Yeah.
Dude, your ass looks popping.
You weren't getting the skinny jean.
Yeah.
They're not that.
They're not skinny.
More importantly, I can.
For him?
Crap,
For him, they are.
Hey!
Wait, do the rerun.
I never realized how, and I'm don't take this the wrong way, how odd it is to see you in jeans, because I never see you. You look good, but it definitely looks out of place for the man that we know.
Yeah.
Because you're always wearing sweatpants.
Oh, here you go. Yeah.
Casey, look great.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, let me feel the stretch.
Yeah.
I want to feel.
All right, yeah, they're stretchy enough where I can.
Yeah.
If I need to karate kick somebody,
Yeah.
I can totally do that. Here, go.
Kathy, grab his hog.
Yeah,
Grab the hog area.
Here's my brand of
let me
These
see.
are good.
Steve, you have a little stretch.
All right, Case, we're playing music for you to show your stuff right now.
You're strutting.
There you go.
Off the runway, Casey.
Get your phone up.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Do you know how to do that Russian kicking thing?
The saber dance?
Yeah, the saber dance.
Down low, you can do it now. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it down low.
And you couldn't do that in non-stretchy jeans.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing
That's
is,
right.
Case, is that when you get, and it's why the coveted worn-in pair of jeans is so beloved.
Yes.
Because when you get them to that level, there's nothing more comfortable. They're great. In fact, that's why people let them rot off them. So when you can start, and these are comfortable at this level,
Yeah.
you're golden.
These ones, I put them on. I'm like, well, they're up on the wall. I was
My
like,
hog feels great.
I feel like they might be too light.
Look, like color?
Color-wise?
No, I think they look great.
good.
No, they do look a little
Yeah.
feminine.
Wait, but
No, they don't.
the big question for me is, like, you said that they're comfortable, but like you're wearing them now. Are you comfortable in them? And like, would you wear them to work?
No.
Oh.
No, these are fashion jeans, Kathy.
All right.
Yeah,
So they're
Casey's
not-
calling them, by the way, he's calling them fashion jeans.
So they're
Yeah.
not that comfortable.
No. They're
It's like
comfortable, but
shopping with the Beverly Hillbillies.
But you're not going to wear them to
I don't
work.
think the pockets are deep enough.
They're not
And that's-
utilitarian.
That's brand to brand. That's sometimes I'll I'm not. I don't care if they fit. I'm happy. I'm not crazy particular about jeans. I wear them all the time. But every now and then you get some that have really cool deep pockets. But
Yeah.
I don't remember which brands.
Does anyone use the little change sub pocket
Yeah,
above?
for
You
sure.
do? I never do.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna
stuff
try
I
the
put
other
in there
one.
all the
Yes.
time. All right, the other pair. While you're doing that, I'm going to go to a call. I got Brian on the line. Hey, Brian. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm here.
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey, how are you guys?
Doing well.
Great, bud. What you want?
I make custom jeans, guys.
You make
I
custom
wanted to-
jeans.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to Casey about that.
He just stepped out. He is tending to his hog. No, he'll be back in a second.
Wait, real quick, Brian. Why do you think that some brands of jeans are so inordinately expensive, whereas other ones you can get like an American Eagle or whatever, and the one that Kathy was talking about aren't as expensive? Is it just quality? Is it an amount of time and effort that's into making them? What's the deal with the prices?
Yeah, I mean, it depends where it's made, I think. And certain denim, when denim's produced, it actually takes a lot of effort. So there's a lot of washing and distressing that goes into denim. And then when you put a fashion brand behind it, it's really like, I mean, you are paying a little bit for some of the fashion brands, but some of it's the quality. It's the softness that's there. It's the stretch. It's the way it's going to wear in over time. And denim is such a unique, personalized item that if you guys each wore the same pair of denim, it would look different after 2-3 years of wearing it on each of you. And there's personalization that comes to it based on what you wear in your pocket.
Brian, what's the name of your brand?
Yeah, so I am Henry Davidson Master Tailors. We're in Center City, Philly, right in Rittenhouse.
Wow.
We do not just jeans, but all men's clothing. But the jeans, obviously, since the pandemic and people aren't dressing up as much, have become a forefront for us. And we have done so many interesting things, with denim. And one of the signatures of denim is the back pocket design. I don't know if you guys have talked about that or...
No, not yet. But I remember that always being one of the big deals is the back pocket and the design on it. And there were plain pockets for a while and things along those lines. But I didn't know that was still a big draw.
Yeah, it's kind of like each brand signature is what they put on their back pocket.
Yeah.
And so we've actually done back pockets with guys' initials and monograms. And I had one guy, he took the S&P 500 graph of the stock market through COVID, which was like obviously a really big dip and a really big rise, and it came out like this really cool back pocket that we did for.
What's the price average for the jeans that you sell?
So our jeans run $575 a pair.
$575 a pair?
No, $5.75.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my goodness!
And what if you work at a radio station?
We pulled up your website. They're the real deal, custom tailor. Haberdashers, I guess, would be a better term. But $575 for a pair of jeans.
Yep, and I mean, you compare that to other people making custom jeans in the market. There are some tailors out there that are charging $1,200 for your first pair to get the pattern made, and then they'll drop it to $950. But that's still
Have you
What
ever?
if I get what if I get
Pretty
custom
far
made?
above where we are.
What if you make me a pair of custom jeans?
For $5.75.
No. And I put them on after it's all done, and they are not comfortable, and I can't stand them.
Ah.
We guarantee our fit. So we would work with you, obviously, to make it right. But we're going to talk about the fit, first of all, and we're going to work with you to make sure it gets right. And I'll tell you, I haven't had somebody yet put them on and say I don't love them. So
Okay. Wow.
Interesting.
All right, Brian.
$75. That's a higher end item there, Brian.
Yeah, big time.
it's definitely a higher end item, but it's something you can wear every day for years and years and years. So if you look at it on a cost per wearing basis, you know, by the end
The
of
same
life,
can be said for my Keep On Truckin' T-shirt.
Wait, what if you get a hole in them?
Depends if you want. If you want a hole in them.
No. I'm saying if a hole creates in the denim, can we bring it back?
Yeah, bring it back to me.
Okay, I'll tell you what. At $5.75, you need to provide roadside service. Like, when you see
Yeah,
a
if
hole
you're at a club and you scrape up against
a truck pulls up in front.
A tailor will pull up and repair it for you on the spot. Wow.
Well, good. Congratulations that the business is doing well there.
Give us a call. We'll be there. I've been over to the studio before to help you guys out.
All right, Brian.
Excellent. All right, thank you, Brian. Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, great talking to you guys.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
I mean, that's a pair of jeans that it is going to fit you perfectly, and it's an investment. You're going to spend $500 or almost $600 on it, but you'll have them, like he said, you're going to have them for years.
You don't waste money on that. You buy Batman statues for $575.
Kathy, the ones I buy for $95 are going to last me for years too. I mean,
especially if you hardly
the
wear
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wear jeans every day. And I have pairs that are in my drawer that have been there for years and years and years.
Right, but there's a difference. There is.
No, I know there's a difference, but there's not a $500 difference.
But you're not a person that's going to care about that
exactly.
difference.
Now, listen, these guys do business for a reason. It's quality.
Yeah.
People are going to go. The people that have the right bank accounts are going to go for sure.
People with the
I'm not
lottery.
saying that, but it's, come on, man.
Preston, James Dean's in the doorway.
Hey, Casey's got another pair
And he changed his shoes.
of fashion jeans.
All right, now, why did this solicit the casual stroll into the studio, whereas the other one was more of a dance step?
Because these are darker. These aren't your fancy jeans.
All right.
We just got smacked with $600 jeans in our face.
How much did you pay for these?
$36.
So
$36.
You saved $540.
Wow. I think they look nice. I like them on you.
Yeah, they look good, Case. Oh, Heine. These are a little baggier in the butt, which is fine.
You need
the other
if you
ones
could
are a little tighter.
Put stuff in your back pockets.
Yeah.
But they're 34s, guys. I haven't worn 34s.
You're wearing 34s?
Right?
Dude.
Yeah, I know.
Good on you.
I have 40s in my closet.
Pull them down to your ankle for a minute.
Let me see your back pocket.
Pull your pants down to your ankles.
No.
Weird, okay.
He just pulled them down for you, Kathy.
I feel weird.
Kathy wants to see that hog we've been hearing about.
You just said pull them down to your ankles.
I said pull them down at your ankle.
Like there?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, there
That's
you go.
better.
Kathy just
Casey,
said, let me see your butthole.
may I see the back pocket? All right, they're plain pockets. Okay.
Yeah, I like them.
Your pockets sit low in the back.
They do sit really low.
Yeah,
in the
they're
back.
at the bottom crease of your ass cheeks.
And sorry, Casey,
In there.
what brand were these ones?
These are American Eagle.
Okay.
They're both
Okay.
American Eagle. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are so dark that from a distance they almost have a little like a black look to them, but
Right?
they're
These are-
really
these
dark
are
blue.
more Dress up, like if I need to.
Yeah.
You know,
So you wear, like, what I will do, Casey, is I wear darker jeans like that, my black
She wants me to take my shirt off.
No.
Wow.
my black boots, and you wear like a jacket, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Turn around. I want to. Yeah. Now lift your shirt up just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Looks good.
Is that the only piece? Is that
No,
two pairs?
I was looking at
Or do
those
we have another
pockets.
pair?
You got the little tag still right here.
Yeah.
Now
take it off.
also, Now also, Casey, you need to wear a belt too. Always wear a belt.
I never wear a belt with jeans.
Oh, I've been told it's
I don't wear
required.
belts anymore. No.
No, I won't wear a belt if I'm going.
Wait a
to
minute.
wear
What's
shirt.
everybody making this freaking face over here about belts? Marissa just looked like she smelled something horrible. What's that all about?
I just walked past her. That's
Oh,
why.
that's
yeah,
it.
she did smell something horrible.
Did Marissa cut one?
Yeah, she did.
No, because you said I've been told it's a must. That's why we made the face. It's not a must.
I don't know about a must or not, but I just don't.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't have to.
I only wear belts when it's going to be seen, or like if my pants are literally going to fall down.
Okay.
Which I have a whole bunch of those these days.
I hear it is a fashion accessory.
Oh.
But
it is an accessory.
What
It's a
do
good
I know?
accessory.
Yeah. I
just
need a
some
better
goober.
belt.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Belts, like for dress pants and stuff, I'll wear,
Yeah, wearing a suit or something where my shirt's going to be tucked in. Yes, I will wear a belt.
Oh,
but-
yeah.
Because you know what it is? The buckle, and because I have a gut, the buckle sticks into my gut, and I don't like the way that
Yeah, you have that
feels. So if I
huge
can-
fish buckle.
Yeah.
Like a
Nah,
big,
listen, I
a
got a
big
big gut.
Elvis buckle.
But when you sit down, it kind of rests
Digs
on
into you.
top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, ruptures
So-
your intestines.
I was so excited for you.
Right?
Yeah, there's a whole new realm for Casey opening up here in the world of high fashion in jeans.
But Kath,
$36.
I have to take these off now because I'm like feeling hot, so I will only
Sexually hot.
No, but I'll only wear jeans like in like
To funerals.
funerals and
Bat
temperature
mitzvahs.
wise, like it's got to be like below 70.
Well, and from yesterday's conversation, if he was sexually hot, it wouldn't be in the legs, right?
Right, because of his huge sweaty hog.
That's right.
Can you go to line 1, Preston?
Sure.
I don't know if that's even...
Kyle, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Kyle.
What's the word?
No, we're not going to...
What's up, dude?
I said no.
So what do you want to tell us?
Hey, no. So I just bought 2 pairs of Levi's quality premium jeans for $25, brand new with tags.
So 2 pairs, and they cost so.
Where'd you get them?
I don't know if I can. If I give you guys that information, they might not be there anymore.
Well, what was it? A department store?
Yes. No, I can tell you. It's in the Franklin Mills Mall.
Okay, all right.
That's a dead giveaway right there.
I get the image like you're twirling around in the parking lot as you're talking to us.
Yeah, you can walk right into the back of the store to the clearance section.
Oh.
And they have, Levi's Silver Tab, which I didn't even know they made, Levi's Silver Tab jeans.
No, I never heard of them, but you make a good point. If you
They're over $200.
check the clearance racks, and I have seen it for that cheap, but that seemed extraordinarily cheap for jeans.
Yeah, because you go to the Levi's outlet.
Yeah.
You go to the clearance rack, because I walk in there, they're like, oh yeah, everything's 70% off on the clearance rack.
All right. Yeah, do you go to Limerick outlets a lot, Preston?
Thanks, Kyle. Yes, we go there a lot. It's called the the Premium Shops at Philadelphia, I think is what they call it. But it's not technically an outlet where everything is like priced really super low. It's just they have all the manufacturer shops there. But yeah, we go there a lot.
Okay.
Because it's pretty close to where I live.
A legit outlet will have savings, and a lot of them are just
big
stores.
savings, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, all right.
We're learning.
Interesting.
Look, we're learning about fashion.
By the way, I'm getting supported quite a bit on the belt thing on text messages.
All right.
Maybe we need to put up a poll or something like that.
Put up a poll. Is it essential to wear a belt with jeans? That's what
Essential's
Preston
not
believes.
it was a must, right?
A
That
must.
was the word that he had used. Because we have to be very, very specific about the wording of the poll.
Right.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because you said, it's an absolute.
must.
It's a must.
Yeah, it's a must. Absolutely. If it has belt loops, it's a must. Wear a belt. That's what some people are reacting
I hang
to.
Christmas ornaments from them. My thing.
You got your thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, hey, congratulations.
Thank you, man.
The world is it's a new world for Casey Boy.
Fashion jeans guy.
I love how you end up
jeans.
going home and Diane's, go back to the store.
All right. We're going to take a break because we got money to give away. And if you win $1,000 in Crumb Bum cash, you could buy at least 1 pair of jeans from that place.
Yeah.
That dude called in about because it's you can't get 2 for $1,000. You can get 1 for sure though. But we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a second. The B file is coming up too. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
And listen, I don't care that I called her out on it. I don't.
No.
That's
if you're going to do it, you got to own it.
Yeah. I'm like, and you did. I don't know what the text to Hannah said. I don't know if it was like, hey,
get this guy
can you
out
get
of
this
here.
guy? I don't know if she was nice
Please
about
get him
it.
to talk about pretzels again.
Oh my God! But
I mean, we're closer with Hannah than them. You should really ask I want to know what the text said.
I would, you know what? I will ask her, but she confirmed that no, there was nobody out there to take pictures with me. So now I'm standing outside of this room, and there's a step and repeat background. Nobody's there to take their picture with me, and now I'm like, oh my gosh,
now you're thinking.
I was a child at this point, I was so embarrassed, and I was like so inside my own head, and I was like, this is like This is terrible. I am so embarrassed. I almost felt like crying. And then, because like I was depressed, I was like I legit got depressed at who I am as a person. Like, you know, like, and then I was like a little bit mad. I'm like, but I was being nice. You know what I mean? Like I'm a nice person, but like, God, Case, you're a 46-year-old man. You should freaking know. You have met a celebrity before. Like, stop being such an a-hole.
You were just excited over pretzels.
I was excited over
that. Was the problem. You were excited over great pretzels, and
I still want to open a franchise, and it's not that expensive to open a franchise. My wife said, "No, I'm not allowed to open a Wetzel's Pretzels franchise." And I was trying to think of like, where could I open a Wetzel's Pretzels franchise? Where could I?
I thought this would have been you going, I need to go back and apologize right now, and then go back in there and then they're with this guy again. Yeah. We can't get rid of him here.
What was the converse? Like, what was the? There was no conversation, right? Was it just you talking and not ending?
Right.
All right. So, no, I try to get people involved in said conversation. So the questions were asked, I think. Right. I'm pretty sure.
Do you recall a real exchange, like a conversation, or did you ask them to write down their questions and submit them to you?
I don't know.
So was there any point at which...
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, there were questions asked, and you didn't breathe to let them answer.
I had another moment over the weekend, too. Where
Well, wait. Before you go to that, to this point, did you encounter them again? Did you get a chance to apologize to him, our buddy from Stranger?
I talked to the guy.
Yeah.
All right, so I never talked to the girl again from Disney. I talked to the guy. So I had gone into the theater after I had walked away and hung my head in shame for 10 to 15 minutes and texted you guys to try and make myself feel a little bit better. I was then asked to go into the theater to let people, because they collect your phones a lot of times before. So they had just gotten approval to let everybody have their phones back, and then I announced a surprise to hey, by the way, we have one of the stars here, so if you want to take a picture while he's in the theater, you can go get your cameras now. So I did that, and then I brought Joe on to the stage, and while Joe was addressing the crowd, I talked to the gentleman. I go, yo, man, I'm so sorry. I go, listen, sometimes I have no chill. And he was so cool. He goes, dude, he's like, you were fine. He's like, he's like, I want to hear the rest of the story. I'm like, this guy, you're lying.
Was he texting while he said that?
No. I'm like, you're lying, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. And then
how sometimes we have these events and there's the person who's in charge of making sure that the other person's okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if the publicist did that on Joe's behalf and he didn't care at all. You know, like
there's a good chance that was the case. Like I said, I wasn't
just trying to put up a barrier and get out in front of a situation, because I've been at these things before, and I've been at them with you, and you're just friendly and you're totally fine. But every now and then, somebody gets weirded out.
You're speaking the truth. 9 times out of 10, it is not the celebrity who has put these restrictions on. It is the handler.
Or it could be like that scene in The Running Man where Richard Dawson, the guy who mops over his feet, and he goes, hey, you're doing a great job. And he walks in the other room. If that a-hole is working here, later on today, you're going to be mopping the floor. But is there a chance maybe we could see about getting Joe on to talk to him and just say,
hey, are we okay? I'm really sorry.
I'd love to talk to him. I'd love to interview him anyway,
I would too. I really would love to have an opportunity to press.
Well, go to the Disney rep. She was impressed.
Yeah, I know. No, here's the deal. If we were to get Joe on, he's not gonna be like, yeah, dude. He's going to be very diplomatic in that. But
Casey, I have had more moments in my life like that where I've walked out of a room and just felt horrible about myself for whatever way I reacted or have just presented myself, and it's a common thing, you know. I mean,
I told you guys about this.
It lives in you.
Yeah, it does.
I told you guys about this, and I'll just call it an argument that I had in a Wawa parking lot too long ago, and I felt worse about this encounter than I did about that encounter. Like, I really did. I felt worse about myself.
And that one almost came to blows.
No, it did. Yeah. It did, and I won't go into details, but I will let everybody know that I was in the wrong to begin with. But I had a very similar experience on Saturday night at the Fish concert. I was talking to a gentleman named Dave who he was telling me about these guys that were standing behind me, and one of the guys just so happens to be a guitarist of a band that I actually just started listening to, and I was like, what? you know? And
Pretzels!
I'm like, oh my God, Corey Wong!
Pretzels! I like pretzels! Do you like pretzels?
You ever had a Wetzel's pretzel? No. So, guy's name's Corey Wong, and he's the guitarist for a band Wolfpack. And
I love Wolfpack.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So do I. And I started going a little bit off the rails. And then Dave, who introduced us, he sort of had to like qualify, hey, this guy is the producer for the #1 morning show in Philadelphia. Yeah. And that's what he says. And I'm like, oh, man.
I did it again.
I'm doing it again. I'm like, he's totally he's saying to this guy, this dude's not just a, you know, although I am.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right, let's reel it back a little bit. But this one time when you did the thing, no. So I tried to reel it back.
Pretzel bread. I like bread. So listen,
I didn't feel as
you
bad about
probably
that
felt
encounter.
it was worse than it was because now you were hyper aware of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't that bad.
It's challenging though too, because when you're with friends, when you're with loved ones, everybody smiles and nods and it's cool. When you're with strangers or somebody you've never met before, it changes the dynamic. And you have no idea what was going through Joe Keery's head. I'm sure he's fine and probably hasn't thought about it since then.
Right. Well, and
Or that's the subject of his new movie.
Now, I've also been on the receiving end of a few of these experiences, right? You know, people listen to the show and they're huge fans. Or, like, somebody will introduce me to somebody who clearly doesn't listen to the show, and that's fine, too. And now these people have to act like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, you don't have to.
Okay.
Right.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to listen. I know you don't, and it's fun. But because of that, like, because of my experience that I had with Joe Keery, and to, you know, anybody, like, if you want to come up and say hi to me at a restaurant or a Wawa or where, like, please do it.
Absolutely.
Because the deal is, like, I don't have a job if it's not for you that's listening right now. Like, it just, you know, it's as simple as that. Like, all these, you know, great luxuries that I'm able to provide for my family are a direct result of you in your car or your home or your office or whatever listening to me right now. And so, same thing for you, Joe Keery. No.
Pretzels! Pretzels!
Wouldn't it be great if you guys open up a pretzel franchise, you and Joe Keery? You know?
I just want to own it by myself.
Local broadcasters open up a Wetzel's Pretzels with one of the stars of Stranger Things.
This is my thing. This is not Joe Keery's thing. This is my thing. And
I was trying to find a bridge.
No, there is no bridge. And you know what? And so at the very end of the night, an asteroid hit and we all died.
Right.
There you go.
So the worst part of this whole story, guys, is once I got done introducing the film and I walked out of the movie theater, I went to go to Wetzel's Pretzels because I wanted to buy some more to bring home to my family.
They were closed.
It was closed! I was like, what did you do with all those extra pretzels that were in the display case?
When was the last time? When was the last time you remember an all-night pretzel place?
It wasn't that late. It wasn't even 8 o'clock.
Was it as quickly when they introduced you to Joe? Was it as quickly? Hey man, how you doing? Hey, have you ever had Wetzel's Pretzels before? Was it that quick?
It was pretty close.
Yeah,
it was pretty damn close.
That
I've seen you do that before.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that type of thing where it's like, and I know what you're doing. You're just looking to have a normal conversation.
It's an
with someone,
icebreaker.
so.
You're gonna charm them.
All right. Well, anyhow, we have to take a break, I think, right?
No, we do. As a matter of fact,
because otherwise I would go to these calls, but we have to.
No, we got to take a break.
The regional manager, Wetzel's Pretzels, is on.
Santa's got to go.
He's
Pretzels got to go.
The Northeast region and wants to talk to you about franchise opportunities.
Listen, the closest one here is at the Fashion District. I already checked, and like they're in like North Jersey, but that's the only one that is around here.
All right.
So
I can't believe the winner in all of this is Wetzel's Pretzels.
Right, big time.
You know?
You kidding me? And you got to swing this bigger for me.
All right. All right. Yes, slower too. A slower cadence. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Yeah. Oh! You got 2! Yeah! And he's getting prepared again. He's like a panther waiting to pounce. He jumps in. 2, 3, 3. Ah! 3! And he's doing the Irish jig. All right. Casey's spying his time. He's in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That was the best one yet. That was so good. All right, retire.
Wow.
Go.
That's how people die in this sport. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Andy did a herky.
And here we go. This is where it all comes together. All those years of yoga. 2, 3. Yes! Yes! I'd give that 4. I'd give that 4.
Squirrels have been laying down flat on their stomachs with their legs stretched out behind them and in front of them. Apparently, this slows them to a complete stop in the soaring temperatures. And though these small mammals might look like they're in stealth mode, it turns out they're trying to cool off. And Steve, it's called splooting.
Splooting.
Yes, squirrels have been splooting all over Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And an expert said it's super.
It's gonna be my regular Saturday night thing, baby.
He's gonna sploot.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna sploot.
I'm gonna sploot.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Dornbach is joining us. Good day, John.
Rockstar, thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Anytime, bud. So, dude, it's how long since you've been and performed Magic live? Has there been a pause on that, or we know you haven't been in the area performing in a little while?
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half, right? So we're just getting up and going and excited to do so.
I have to ask you because I mentioned this to Casey. I watched the series Hacks with Gene Smart, which I thought was very funny. You appear in that, correct? That's you as the magician in one scene, correct?
Yeah, it was one of those things where HBO called and they're like, "Hey, HBO Max," and the director's like, "Hey, we need a magician. Gene Smart's this comedian, and will you play yourself?" And I was like, "Wait a minute. So what you're telling me is you want me to be on an HBO Max HBO show as myself?" Yeah, I think I can make that happen.
Right. No, it was a cool scene because there was a big party and she's at this palatial estate, and Caitlin Olsen was there as well. And but that was, you had to be shooting that during COVID restrictions and stuff like that, right? Was it a whole bunch of? I mean, the party seemed packed, but I'm sure they took extra precautions.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, it's the insurance companies, right? So a ton of precaution. It's funny because it's like 6 seconds, right? It was like 5 days, you know what I mean? But it's like you get 6 seconds. What was really, really cool is when I used to play for the Bills, Chris McDonald, who's an actor in a ton of stuff. I love his stuff. He was Shooter McGavin. And
he's great.
He's from upstate New York, so he would go to a lot of games. So him and I would hang out like way back in the day. And so when I sat next to him, I was like, "Hey, Chris." He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm Chris. I'm like, "Dude, Dornbach, long snapper, Bills." He was like, "Oh my God!" It's kind of we got to hang out for a few days, and he's such a nice guy.
He seems like a great dude.
Well, your beard is more pronounced right now, so maybe that was part of it too.
Well, it's called children. The grays are coming in. Giving it a good shadow,
How many kids do you have now?
Yeah, one. I should have said child.
Oh, okay.
But a split personality. Yeah.
But my wife takes care of me.
WMMR.
About 5 minutes away from Crumb Bum Cash. By the way, this text says for $1,000 cash, you can buy one pair of bougie jeans and a custom sword from the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Get your shopping list ready. All right, it's Friday, so let's do this Friday thing. Song. Let's do the B-File.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Horizon Services. From clogged toilets, dripping faucets, Horizon Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Plumbing professionals are there when you need them. Plus, you can save 20% off your next plumbing service. Visit horizonservices.com. A woman in Michigan was rescued on Tuesday after getting stuck in an outhouse while trying to retrieve her Apple Watch, forcing police to remind people do not climb inside of toilets. The incident happened at
Well, there
about
goes my weekend.
11 a.m. inside an outhouse bathroom at Dixon Lake. According to Michigan State Police, the woman was heard yelling for help and told first responders she had dropped her Apple Watch in the toilet.
There's a lot of poopy in here.
She then lowered herself inside the toilet to retrieve it and could not get out.
Honestly.
My God.
Get Apple Care.
Yeah. State police and
Do
emergency
you want to wear that watch?
medical personnel responded to the incident. The toilet was removed and a strap was used to hoist the woman out to safety. The agency added that venturing inside an outhouse toilet is usually not a good idea, and they warned against doing that.
Should probably wear goggles or something.
This is a story out of Holland. A novel pattern of solar panels on the roof of 3 terraced houses in the town of Doorn has sparked a council investigation because they spell out the Dutch slang word for penis.
Kind of like that.
So these are solar panels on the top of a house, and they just arrange it, not on purpose, by the way.
Just by happenstance.
Just by happenstance to spell out the word.
Do you know the Dutch word for penises?
Yeah, it's lull, L-U-L.
Yeah, it's something like that, yeah.
That's what it is, yeah. So the roof has caused a bit of a social media stir, and sometimes the houses are buzzed by low-flying helicopters who want to take a photo, prompting the council to take action. The owner of the middle house, who preferred to remain anonymous, was the last to get the panels and says the shape had to be different because of the skylight that's on his roof. He said the panels had to be placed around it so it became a U, and that means the panels spell out lull or penis.
Yeah, but you can only see it from above, right? So what does it matter?
Rez Peters, who
I had the C word on my roof, but no one ever complains.
Rez Peters, who lives at number 38, is not happy about the arrangement and asked Housing Association if they could do something about the lettering. But Patrick, at number 42, is pleased with the impact on his electricity bill. And the occupant of the U home says that he would rather the neighborhood be known for the solar panels than criminality. The local council, meanwhile, has started an investigation.
They think you can let this one go?
Yeah, I would think so. A rollover crash on I-40 in Oklahoma, and I very rarely, there are stories of truck spills every day that are interesting, but I rarely report on them. But this one's interesting. It set social media on fire Wednesday after one of its trucks involved appeared to drop its load of dildos and lubricant.
Oh, that's awesome.
Onto the roadway as a result of the incident.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be my regular Saturday night thing, baby. Oh, yeah.
Helicopter footage shows what appears to be boxes of sex toys and tubes of lube scattered across the roadway.
Big dildo.
In the video, you can hear the pilot, Jim Gardner.
That's right. Wow.
Hi, I'm Jim Gardner. If you're a dildo fan, the stretch of highway is where you need to go. And don't worry, plenty of lube.
You can hear him
if you're very tight.
Fly around.
Oh, my God. Or dry, you know.
Fly around what appears to be the truck's true contents as the camera zooms in to get a better look. And while police have not officially confirmed the contents of the truck, a news site reports that the crash occurred near a major adult product-focused distribution hub, which could have been where the truck was coming from.
So something like that. Obviously, the law states that if a truck rolls over and that stuff is strewn about whatever the content of the truck, though people think, oh, well, it's up for grabs. It's not.
No,
it still belongs to someone.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All those dildos belong to people.
All right, and then finally we will end with this story. An Australian journalist has legally named her third child Methamphetamine Rules.
Stop it.
To test naming regulations.
Wow.
Kirsten Drysdale said, "We thought we would submit the most outrageous name we could think of, assuming that it would be rejected. Well, the Births, Deaths, and Marriages Register is working with the family to change the name. The original will always be on record, by the way."
So the original Methamphetamine Rules will always be part of the documentation.
That is correct.
Well, that Crocodile Dundee slipped through.
Drysdale has not revealed the baby's new name yet. She said he's a very chill child, a beautiful baby boy. But Methamphetamine Rules is what they went with initially. All right, it is 8:01. That means we have to do this.
93.3 WMMR, Philadelphia.
You're a real crumb bum.
It's time for a crumb bum cash keyword.
And the word is slam. S-L-A-M. That's our keyword for the hour. And you have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter it. 3 ways to do that. You can enter it at WMMR.com or on the MMR app, or you can text the word SLAM to the special contest short code number we have set up, which is 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in our company-wide contest, and each winner will get a call from Beasley. Make sure you answer your phone. Contest rules available at WMMR.com, and it is sponsored by Horizon Services. Again, the word is SLAM, S-L-A-M. Enter it now, and good luck to your friend. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
She's got two.
Hey, John, when you're putting together your act, your show, and I haven't seen, you've performed for us many times here in the studio, but I've never gone to your actual live show. What's it like? Because there's various types of magicians. There are people who put on a big, lots of pyrotechnics and effects, and there's people, the ones that I find more impressive are the ones who are mainly doing sleight of hand and really blowing you away with their storytelling and all the stuff that goes along with that. What's your style?
Well, perfect intro, because lucky for you, I'm a storyteller, sleight of hand, and we do some big stuff. So I'm really proud of the show. It's my life story. And so it's the ups and downs that I've had through life, the magic that I found along the way that got me out of it. It's inspiring. It's motivating. Look, we do some mind-blowing magic, obviously, because that's what I love to do. But I promise you, it's not like this gratuitous magic show where you just dance around and want to be David Copperfield. I love that. I just don't want to be that.
Right.
It's funny because the first... I grew up with like Blackstone the Magician and all these, and Houdini, obviously, and all this stuff. And there was that sort of presentation. The presentation where there was a narrative that would start to move in, where there was a story told through the magic, started to happen, I guess. Maybe it was Doug Henning, one of the first, who kind of did like a connected narrative with the magic. Is that correct, John?
Yeah. And Lance Burton did an interview way back when, and it was basically like the hardest part about magic is to get people to care. If I do a dove routine, why do people care?
Right.
And my style has always just gone towards telling personal experience and life stories that obviously, so when you tell a personal story, people connect to it, people relate to it, and then people start thinking about things in their life that are similar, right? And so it's a way to trigger. And then all of a sudden you do magic and it breaks down this barrier, this wall, and people become vulnerable like kids. And so now what you say to me is 10 times more impactful. Look, I'm a big fan of your show. I'm a big fan of rock and roll. I wanted to be a rock star. I can't sing. I can't dance. I can't play an instrument. Check that off the old box. But cards and magic became my instrument, and now the ballad or the jam can be whatever it is you say around it.
That's awesome.
John, did you happen to see a special on Hulu called In and of Itself with a guy named Derek Delgadio?
First of all, huge fan of Delgadio. I'm like the only magician that has not seen this yet. I have no excuse. I've been wanting to see this. I heard it's phenomenal.
It's just really super unique, and that's what I think is really cool about taking what you do and putting a unique spin on it. And he's very much tells the story of his life as well during that show.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to make a promise to the Preston and Steve show. I will be watching it tonight.
All right.
Nice.
But it's similar in your life story, which has so many. I mean, if you were to just get up and do a TED Talk about your life, that alone would be interesting. You have such rich fodder to draw upon for the magic. But as you start to develop a show and change it and alter it, and add illusions and tricks or whatever you like to refer to them as, where do you get the opportunity to go do that? Do you have a warehouse, or do you have, not that you're like David Copperfield making planes disappear or whatever, but do you have an actual lab or something that you go to where you work on this stuff?
Yeah, I have a lab. It's my house at Oak Brook Circle.
That's it.
That little garage over there on the side that we don't quite use, that we don't know what to do with the lawnmower, so we shove it in there.
And it's that simple. You just go in and a room in your house and.
Yeah, you know what? I got a great creative team, and so Blake Voigt, Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is the guy behind David Blaine, all his TV stuff for years and years.
Well,
we're really good friends. Yeah, we're good friends. But what these people are really good at is. When us three get in a room and we jam, it's like songwriting, right? Some people just gel, and it's important to know one another's style. And so they kind of get my style, and we just create stuff, which is fun.
It's funny because so many musicians, and the words sound very similar, by the way. But you'll take a chord progression and turn it a little bit and make it something new. And I get that impression as being the same with magicians. Okay, there's this old style trick. We're going to turn it, do this, put this narrative behind it, and make it something new. Is that a large part of what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's like music. There's like 5 chords. Am I right?
Yeah.
I should know that. Six chords. Well, magic, there's 5 things you can do, and I should probably know these 5. You can disappear, you can reappear, you can change, and there's like 2 other things you can do.
Right.
So it's taking a spin on that.
You're getting a little too intricate for us.
Well,
let me ask you
I was
that.
expecting manipulation. Some of these other
You change, you disappear, you come back, and then there's 3 other things.
2 other things.
So, all right. So there have been some in the magic world. There have been some constants, obviously, but there has been new variables over the years in technology and stuff. And over the last year, with being able to do things via Zoom and virtually, has that presented itself any new opportunities for you?
Yeah, so in the Zoom world, which is here we are. I did a lot of like keynotes. Believe it or not, the virtual keynote speaking market was out of this world, right?
Huh.
And so I'd be able to do tricks through Zoom, which is kind of cool. I created a few things. Now it's a completely different medium. It's a completely different way of doing things. Right now you're isolated in this little frame here, so it was a fun, challenging time.
Do you get called? I mean, obviously, I know when I was doing stand-up comedy, I used to do corporate gigs fairly often. Is that still out there? Substantially with so many people working from home and all that change because of what we just went through. Is that still a rich area for you as a magician to work in?
The Zoom market?
The corporate, corporate events and things of that nature. Yeah. Is that a big money maker for you without getting? Yeah, but I don't need a dollar amount.
Yeah, baby, throw me the money. But not so much as a magician. Like I said, I get hired out as a speaker, and I get to do whatever magic I want within that.
I got
One of the best advice I ever got was my rookie year, and this guy Kevin Elko, he's a speaker, and I was in the weight room. He's like, "Hey, I'll give you a couple $100 to go talk to these bankers." I was like, "I'm in." He goes, "You know that stupid little pencil trick you do?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "They'll eat it up. Tell your story how you went to college." So I was like, "Okay." And then afterwards, he literally pulled me aside and he goes, "Listen, kid." I was 23. He goes, "Listen, kid, I'm going to give you some advice. Look, the magic's cute. I get it. You need to be a speaker, and you'll thank me for it." And so I've been a speaker ever since. And obviously, the cap that companies are willing to spend on a magician is quite a bit smaller than a speaker.
Right.
And so
true.
Hey, you can call me whatever you want.
Just a reminder, John's going to be at Borgata Music Box on Friday, 2 shows. By the way, John, so what role does football play in your life now? Just a observer or anything else?
I have some friends call me here and there, and they'll have because a lot of the guys I played with now are coaching either high school, college, or whatever, and they'll have a snapper or a specialist. And they'll say, "Hey, man, can you work with this kid? Can you give me some advice?" And we can do it over Zoom. We can do it live. And so I'm just kind of like the guy that just kind of goes in, helps out. Believe it or not, there's been some coaches that have left the Eagles and gone on to other teams, and they're like, "Hey, we'd love to bring you in here and just kind of help build the culture of an organization," which for me, I think that was a bigger compliment than help me with X's and O's. I think that was kind of a role I had with the Eagles for a long, long time. And that was, establish a culture, get a sense of community and family within a locker room, care about one another. And then you don't have to be the greatest of athletes to win.
I have a very objective question to ask you, John. Which fans are crazier, Bills fans or Eagles fans? Because Bills fans over the last few years have really upped their game in the level of craziness that they bring. The Bills Mafia, as I think now kind of rivals the insanity that Eagles fans bring every week.
I'll say this. I mean, anybody that's out there in minus 20-degree weather with no shirt on, run around in the parking lot, I mean, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different level of crazy. For those that have never been to Buffalo, wow. It was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me to get picked up by the Bills. And then it was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me to get released by the Bills. Because that place was hard. I mean, it was like, Now, look, you're talking about a kid who came from Southern California. So,
Right.
like, I had seen snow, but I
Yeah.
have never seen snow.
Yeah, that is snow.
And,
Yeah.
you know, and now keep in mind, I kind of hacked my way into college, right? I sent somebody else's film. So when I got into the NFL, I was still trying to figure out how to snap. And so to go to Buffalo and try and play in that weather and be a specialist. Look, I played with Drew Bledsoe. That guy had one of the strongest arms I've ever seen. I remember there was games that he couldn't even throw a 10-yard out because the wind was so bad.
Yeah.
And then the coach was ticked off at me that I couldn't snap one. Drew can't throw it 10 yards. You want me to look between my legs?
Yeah.
Right.
John, I went to the Eagles-Bills game, oh, God, it had to have been 2 years ago, and the wind was crazy. We couldn't even kick extra points at this point. You know, the wind was so bad, they kept going for 2-point conversions.
God, that's savage.
But I will say, I thought the fans were great. I didn't get there early enough to really hang out in the tailgate area or whatever. But you know, I bought tickets that were close enough in the end zone, so I just wanted to get on either A, get on TV, which I did, or B, catch a football either via kickoff or whatever, and a football landed 2 seats away from me. So I know I was so close, but I had a great time and. They had great hot dogs in the stadium.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, think about this. Philadelphia has restaurants
Yeah.
Zama, love sushi. Come on, Redstone. Hello, still here, guys.
Kathy.
Oh yes.
I mean, and Buffalo has
Wings.
Hey, let me ask
the
you.
Bills.
Do you have Wetzel's Pretzels there by any chance?
Oh, I don't know.
Casey's a
But
big
they do have
fan.
Good wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Buffalo was great, man. But like I said, what a hard place to play, man. Hard place.
Wow. Nice. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. How about that, man?
Yeah, you got your own backstage and all that. Everything's exact. What is your rider like? Is there anything super unique in a John Dorenbos rider when you show up at the Borgata?
Michelob. So this is funny.
Yeah.
So I was never. I didn't really drink alcohol a whole lot,
Right,
and I
right.
never drank beer. I didn't like beer, right? I didn't like beer. So my wife's like, "Oh, this is cool. So when you stop working out and stop playing football, now you're going to drink beer."
Right.
Okay. Good timing. So I got nothing crazy. I just got my Michelob Gold Ultras carb conscious beer.
Carb conscious beer.
Crazy.
And that's it.
And do you have? All right. So do you have an exclusive partnership with a playing card? Do you know what I mean?
So I use bicycles now. This is crazy. That the president of United States Playing Card Company, huge fan, very nice guy. But this company, zero advertising, zero endorsements for anybody. They just don't need it. They don't
They're
do
just
it.
the best.
And
They're like
so
the Louisville
now-
Sluggers. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good point.
And is that the choice for most magicians? Bicycle?
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I like the air cushion finish. Apparently, just gets
Air
it done
cushion
for me.
finish.
Air cushion finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
33 WMMR.
Thanks, Kath. Nick wanted me to point this out. We played our Froggy Friday song right before the Bizarre File, and apparently their bass player, Brooke, has a birthday today. So I want to wish Brooke a happy birthday, and the band is going to be playing a gig at Silk City tomorrow night.
I love those guys.
I saw a great video on their Instagram yesterday of them doing an impression of all the 21-year-olds that they meet when they play a 21 and over show.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that,
I
Nick?
did not, no.
Oh, yeah. It's like, hey, how you guys? You guys are great. I can get you a drink if you guys want me to get you a drink. I like every single person they impersonate. So I'll get you guys want alcohol. I'll get you some booze.
Wait, are they all 21 at this point, the Froggy Girls?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, my God.
I want to say that... No.
Because somebody was like 18,
Yeah.
like just graduating high school.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Fiona, I think, is the one that's the youngest. So. But anyway, happy birthday to Brooke. We love you guys, and have a good gig tomorrow night, Silk City. Very fun, cool group if you want to go check them out and support local music. All right, we need to talk about food.
It's time for the Connoisseur, the Friday edition.
Yes, and we will do some movie clips and some giveaways along with this. I'm going to start with a story from our friend, Chef Jen Carroll.
We love Jen Carroll.
She's awesome, and obviously she's a famous Philadelphia chef, and she emailed me and asked if I would mention this, and absolutely I will do it. It's an event that's going on today, Cookbooks and Convos, all right? There are 31 different women authors traveling in from all over the country to partner with 31 different female-owned restaurants or businesses across the city. And they're doing things like readings and demos and dinners, and they're having a pre-party launch in Fishtown today. and it benefits a group called Cooks Who Care. They create a community cookbook partnering with chefs from all over Philly to give a recipe and their time to film a how-to class for their dish. And she says it's a master class from Philly chefs. The cookbook's purpose is to raise money to provide micro grants to restaurant workers who need help offsetting the cost of mental health care.
She does so much good work.
The founder, Maria Campbell, and director Eric Laviette will both be at the party signing books tonight and having a special conversation with everyone. The food is coming from Jen Carroll, Monica Glass, who is Food and Wine's best pastry chef, and Joy Param, who is from Hell's Kitchen.
Okay.
So that's today, and the link is in her Instagram bio, which is Chef Jen Carroll, at Chef Jen Carroll, or you can go to cookbooksandconvos.com.
Awesome.
So a really cool food-based event that's taking place today from one of our finest chefs, and it's for a good cause and some good eats, so I thought I would pass that along.
No, that's great.
So happy to do that. So should we do our first clip?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, we'll do a food clip from a movie, and if you can identify it.
Are you running out of movies?
We got some good. No, you know what? And
You doing okay?
People
Yeah.
are sending in suggestions
All right, there you
to
go.
me. And basically what I will do is I'll go to a list of movie stars' names. I'll
Right.
just find a name, so just to throw one out there like Tom Hanks. And then in my mind, I'll think of movies he's been in. And almost every movie has at least one moment.
Something.
Where people either mention a type of food or they're eating. And so it's pretty easy to grab
There's
from.
an extended spam conversation in Empire Strikes Back.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
All right, so here is actually there's a scene in Empire Strikes Back where he's eating with Yoda.
Yeah.
So there's some food,
That's
a little bit of
spam.
food in Star Wars. It's spam.
Spam you like.
Have some spam. All right, this clip. See if you can name the movie. It's an easy one.
I eat breakfast 300 yards from 4,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me, so don't think for 1 second that you can come down here, flash a badge, and make me nervous.
All right, 215-263-WMMR. What movie is that from? That is an easy one. All right. Order up.
We're selling it. Theater of the Mind.
All right, so this is interesting because late night cravings and going to a fast food restaurant, there was a poll that was done to determine, or actually I think it was what was this, a poll?
What the hell was it?
Well, anyhow, it's about going to fast food restaurants for late night food. And the one that came in first place.
Oh, okay. Where do people prefer to go for late night eating?
Yeah, if you're going for the 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Right.
You know, what fast food joint do you hit?
Post-drinking meal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the number one spot isn't even a chain that's in our area.
Oh.
Jack in the Box was number
So
one.
you and I are Jack in the Box fans. In fact, a lot of people don't realize, and we've said this many times, for years, they had my favorite taco.
Yeah, the super taco.
Yeah, the super taco.
Yep, me too. And by the way, this is data from a placer.ai.
I swear by it, even though I don't know what it is.
So these are, but I mean, I think it means total sales.
Oh, okay.
So the chain is beating out Burger King, Wendy's, and McDonald's when it comes to the fourth meal of the day. Second place, and this was a standard late night hit for us, Taco Bell.
Okay, because you hadn't mentioned Taco Bell. I'm like, how is that not in the top 5?
Yeah, that was second place because number one, you can buy a whole bunch of stuff. It's pretty damn cheap.
Yeah.
Or at least it used to be. Man, there was a time when we mentioned this before. They had their ad campaign was $59.79.99.
Yeah.
So all their items cost either 59 cents, 79 cents, or 99. You could go get a taco for 59 cents, man, and we would just load up on those things.
So the food that tends to obviously be the more popular is that is going to be more mitigating to imbibing, right? Like greasier food?
Yeah, totally.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. And one that you can hand around in the car and it's easy to eat.
Yeah. Right.
Burritos are so easy to eat in the car.
We would get boxes of tacos. You could,
Taco box.
Taco box. You could get taco boxes, but that was a big thing for us back in the day.
So Taco Bell is in second place with 15.2 of total orders happening between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. Overall, late night visits have increased compared to last year for all 5 chains.
Dude,
None of the ones around me stay open really, really late. I remember like Wendy's was open until like 2 a.m. when I was young, and that was great.
Still open pretty late.
Is it?
Yeah.
I remember, and I mean, it was one of, it was like, that movie, the Lost Weekend. about the alcoholics.
Yeah.
I remember a similar experience after going to White Castle.
Oh, that's a great late-nighter.
Belly bombers, they call them, at 2 a.m. And you get an average White Castle order for 2 people is about 70 burgers.
Yeah.
Because they're so small.
Yeah.
And Preston, I mean, physically, we paid for that for days afterwards.
Yeah.
The Wendy's near me is open pretty late. And the last time I went there because Avery she really wanted a Frosty. And I promised her I would get her a Frosty. I get there, and they're like, we can't, I'm in the drive-thru, and they're like, we can't serve you. Because like our manager left, and I was like,
"Oh, you told us this, yeah." Like, there was nobody running the store.
I was like, "Wait, what do you mean left? Like he left? Like was he mad? Did he quit?" And then I was like, "Listen, my daughter just had her braces tightened. I promised her I would get her a Frosty," and they were like, "Okay." And so they ended up getting me.
Oh, so you have to
Frosty.
barter with them at the drive-thru?
But then
what sort of family issue are you dealing with, and what food can we give you for it?
But they sold it. I was like, I thought they were going to just give it to me for free.
Is it possible the place is being robbed and the person
maybe
they were tied up in the refrigerator?
I saw a Wendy's commercial last night, Casey, advertising Frosties, and I think they have a pumpkin spice guy.
I might be interested in that.
Yeah, it was. And Steve, I'm the same way. Like, I don't go gaga for the pumpkin spice, and I don't really care that much every year. However, when it comes to a dessert and a Frosty, I'll dabble.
Thank you, by the way, for labeling it correctly as a dessert. It was originally sold to me years ago when Wendy's came around as a milkshake.
Yeah,
and after having a cerebral hemorrhage trying to drink it through a straw.
They still got the strawberry Frosty, right?
I believe so.
I need to try that.
And in the commercial case, they even did the fry dip into the Frosty, which is always a nice thing.
All right, we're going to see if somebody knows the answer to what movie this food clip is from.
I eat breakfast 300 yards from 4,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me, so don't think for 1 second that you can come down here, flash a badge, and make me nervous.
Easy one. We're going to Vincent. Yo, Vince, good morning.
Yo, ever heard of Jerkmate?
You ever heard of Jerkmates?
All right, Vince, what movie is that from, my man?
A Few Good Men.
Of course.
Yo, ever heard of Jerkmate?
That is correct. I don't know why I hit that music.
Yeah, me
Casey.
neither.
Good. So, Vincent,
It's
hang
the
on the line.
Jerkmates theme.
Here's what we have for you, buddy.
You got a pair of tickets as MMR Rocks Bubba Bash 2024 celebrating Neil Peart. And that's going to be on Saturday, January 6th at the Keswick Theater. Special guests include Why Not, Mike Portnoy, Joe Bergamini, and many, many more. Tickets go on sale today at 10 a.m. Go to WMMR.com for all of the details.
You know, that made me think of, Preston? Cuban sandwich.
Oh.
Yum.
Yeah.
I order those almost anytime I see them on a menu.
So good.
They're fantastic. All right, we have a new clip. Let's see if you can spot what film this food clip is from.
You murdered them all. You were the person who was missing when the cook and Mr. Body were murdered. And the cook used to be your cook. Don't you remember your fatal mistake? You told us at dinner that we were eating one of your favorite recipes. And monkey's brains, though popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C.
All right, 215-263 WMMR. Let's see if you know that one. And order up. Thank you.
Our band was in the bathroom.
While chain restaurants are sometimes seen as cringe, researchers from MIT Sloan School of Management found that chain restaurants like Olive Garden, Chili's, and Applebee's bring Americans from all classes together.
Aw. I love going to Applebee's to hang out with the regular folk.
These mid-tier chain restaurants.
Reginald, bring the rolls around. We're going to Applebee's because it's good in the neighborhood.
They help combat social isolation or the tendency to only interact with people in a similar income bracket.
What amusing flair you're wearing.
The report reads, the places that contribute most to mixing by economic class are not civic spaces like churches or schools, but large, affordable, chain restaurants and stores.
So let me ask you, how inclined are you to go to an Applebee's or a Chili's or anything like that?
First of all, Applebee's can suck ass.
Whoa! Hey!
Well, you heard what they did to him.
Yeah.
They kidnapped his family.
Preston, my next question was going to be, is Applebee's an advertiser to the radio station? Because
Dude, I don't
honestly,
care.
it's Crapplebee's.
I have given Applebee's a good
I'm with you.
5 opportunities to prove to me that it's worth anything, and forget it.
I'm with you,
Wow,
man.
man, you've been scarred.
Oh,
I just liked that they had a bar.
That's nice, of course.
Other places also have bars.
Let me speak. I'll say that I like their nachos.
Yeah. Well, Chili's, their chips and salsa, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
Well, listen, that was an emotional response, and it means. I mean, you've been scarred, man.
I like Texas Roadhouse is one of my favorite places to go to, and I would put it in that category of level of cuisine as far as price and what's available, and I love that place. So I like the mid-level restaurant. Sure, Outback has good food as well.
Olive Garden?
We will go to Olive Garden
Red
from
Robin.
time to time.
Yum.
Yeah.
Olive Garden, I still contend has perhaps some of the finest lasagna I've ever had in my life.
I just feel like those restaurants have a lot of money for R&D. So you're going to get some decent food. Like my top used to be Fridays, TGI Fridays. I haven't been there in a little while, but I like a Fridays. I like a Chili's. I don't mind an Applebee's.
What about are there any Fuddruckers left?
Not in our area.
Really, but there are.
They exist, yeah.
Around.
The Fuddruckers used to have a full bakery inside.
They have them in D.C., Steve.
Yeah.
There used to be one in Lancaster. I don't know if it's
Pud
still
Pullers
there.
is a competitor.
Somebody texting to me saying, "Hey, lay off the bees, you big jerk." They call it the bees.
The bees.
Or for Applebee's.
No, they're passionate advocates for Applebee's.
Yep.
You've
for
just
sure.
been scarred. Yeah.
Yeah, their opinions are wrong, but that's okay.
Listen, those they're packed. They're always packed.
Yep.
So they're doing something right for some people.
For me, it's the nachos.
Yeah, Fuddruckers, yes, Steve, there are them. There are them, whatever, in like Lancaster down that area.
Okay, so an Amish Fuddruckers.
Yes.
So anyhow, it says that this is the reason that people congregate of different social classes and backgrounds in these areas. It says this is in part due to the locations of these restaurants, which do not favor one income bracket or another. Everyone
What I like about Chili's, Reginald, is people like you and me can hang out and go halvesies.
All right, what's there? Okay, there's a. I'm trying to think of the one that I think it begins with an R.
Okay,
come on,
Ruddruckers.
That's not Ruddruckers. It used to be at the Springfield Mall, and I don't think it was an Applebee's.
Really?
Well, describe.
Ruby Tuesday.
Ruby, yes.
Ruby Tuesday.
Actually, we just got it at the same time.
Yes.
Ruby Tuesdays actually has pretty good burgers.
They do. They have some decent food. I've eaten at a Ruby Tuesdays a few times, and unlike Applebee's, I don't shun or shudder at the idea of.
Let's
going
take a vote on who'll get the Applebee's live read in this studio.
Dude, I got Kathy. You were talking about the bar. I got cut off at an Applebee's one time.
There we go.
I was in Utah when that happened.
Kidding me?
And no, dude, I was just ordering my second drink.
Just 2 drinks.
And they said, you can't have any more.
Wow.
Because it was Utah. It was in Salt Lake City.
Oh.
And it was within the span of maybe, I don't know, a half hour. I ordered my second drink. How dare you?
Wow.
I was there because my uncle was almost on his deathbed.
And
at
you
the
needed
hospital.
a little drink,
And
a little drinky poo.
I needed a drinky poo, big time. But they weren't having it. All right, so anyhow, before we go on to the next clip, which I am going to play. Oh, wait, no, we got to get a winner for our clip. So let's do that. This is the clip we need you to identify.
You murdered them all. You were the person who was missing when the cook and Mr. Body were murdered. And the cook used to be your cook. Don't you remember your fatal mistake? You told us at dinner that we were eating one of your favorite recipes. And monkey's brains, though popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C.
All right, we will go to Nicole to see if she knows what movie that's from. Hey, Nicole, good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
Good morning to see you. All right, Nicole, what movie is that from?
That's my favorite movie, Clue.
Yes! Well done.
It's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie. All right, hang on just a second. We will get your information, and we are going to give you this prize, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole, you won a case of Philly favorite from our friends at Iron Hill Brewery. This hazy IPA is perfect for all of your tailgate needs this season. Available in 4-packs and 12-packs wherever craft beer is sold.
By the way, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Chuck had texted in because he wanted to be a part of the conversation. He said Houlihan's.
Houlihan's is good.
Do they exist anymore?
I
They
don't
used to be
think
one
they
near
do.
us.
They used to be one right up here.
I used to go to Houlihan's a fair amount. There was one in Bluebell that we would go to.
Do you know what I ended up for years? They Ground Rounds would have comedy shows when the comedy in the 80s when it exploded.
Yeah.
And I
Ground Round was decent.
Constantly in Ground.
I liked it.
Yeah, and the big thing was you could throw your popcorn and peanut shells on the floor.
Yep.
And we used to go to Howard Johnson's all the time.
Hojo's.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, peppermint stick ice cream they had.
Hang on a second. I got another call. It's Kendra that's on the line. Hi, Kendra. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? you?
Wonderful. Kendra, I haven't played a movie clip yet. Why are you calling in?
Because I just won $1,000.
Kendra is playing the Crumb Bum Cash.
Wow.
And won $1,000 for the contest. How sweet is that?
I mean, she could buy 20 pairs of jeans from that place in the city.
No, one pair of jeans. That's it.
This one.
So, Kendra, where are you from?
I'm from East Greenwich, New Jersey.
Oh, a Jersey gal. We appreciate that.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for listening. And $1,000, that could do some pretty good things for you this weekend, right?
Well, actually, next weekend is my birthday.
There you go. We knew that.
Just
we knew that.
in time. And yes, I know I said goo instead of do, Casey. He looked at me. All right, Kendra, congratulations. We love you and have yourself a great weekend, okay?
Thank you so much.
Oh,
she's sweet.
For everything you goo,
This
we say
goo's
thank
sweet.
you.
Doing goo. Feeling goo in the
I
neighborhood.
knew that was coming.
Goo F yourselves, guys.
All right. By the way, this text says 2 best things from Applebee's: wonton tacos and diarrhea.
Yeah, so if you forgot to take your Miralax, just go to Applebee's and you'll be okay.
All right, order up. Oh wait,
yeah.
another movie clip. Another movie clip. All right, let's see if you can identify what food movie clip this is. Here we go.
I think that just about does it.
He's not done yet.
Well, he may take a little while with that last bite, but it'll go down.
That ain't the last bite.
Well, sure it is. There's nothing on that plate but gristle and fat. Oh, God, no. No problem.
All right, let's see if you know the answer to that movie. What movie that is? 215-263-WMMR. Now I ring the bell. Here we go. Next story. All right, this kind of ties into the last story, but Olive Garden is bringing back its popular never-ending pasta bowl after a 2-year hiatus.
Yeah, it was very popular.
Yeah, the never-ending pasta deal is officially slated to hit restaurants nationwide September 25th, but Olive Garden E-Club members can get exclusive early access to the promo, and that started on the 18th.
And by never ending, do they specify that regardless of global events, that it will never end, even through a nuclear war or anything of that nature?
No, there's a...
Oh, there's a cutoff?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
all right.
you can enjoy unlimited servings of your favorite pasta combos, homemade super salad, and breadsticks, all for a suggested starting price of $13.99. There's also an option to add a never-ending topping to your meal for an additional $4.99.
Again, I encourage you to try their lasagna. It's damn good.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl menu for 2023 includes following options: pastas, which is spaghetti, angel hair, rigatoni, and fettuccine; sauces, traditional marinara, traditional meat sauces, sauce Alfredo, 5-cheese marinara, and cream mushroom, and the toppings: Italian sausage, crispy chicken frita, and meatballs.
Remember those commercials where the family brought their like a grandfather over from hey, it's like being back in Italy. Really? Is it just like, no, hey, it's a McDonald's. It's like being in Glasgow.
You know that guy on Conan's show, Jordan Schlansky?
Yes.
He's a very cultured and civilized guy, and Conan makes fun of him all the time. And so one time Conan took Jordan Schlansky to Olive Garden, and like, dude was just an American waiter, and Conan started speaking to him in Italian, and it's a really, really funny bit. But Steve, they just played on every one of those tropes,
right.
You know what it's like to be you're dining in Italy at this strip mall in Cherry Hill.
Nick, you maybe remember, what was that place? And the big conceit was that it was a sort of a tropical rainforest. Was it called?
Rainforest Cafe or something.
Yeah.
And they had sort of animatronic birds and things.
We went to one in Niagara Falls. And it would rain.
Right.
It would rain every now and then.
Yeah.
So that was another little fun,
gimmick.
Niche little thing that they had.
I eat best in tropical rainforests.
By the way, the possible promotion, the never-ending possible promotion, is happening between now or September 25th through November 19th. So a limited time you can get that, and prices may vary for that. All right, we want to know what movie this is from.
I think that just about does it.
He's not done yet.
Well, he may take a little while with that last bite, but it'll go down.
That ain't the last bite.
Well, sure it is. There's nothing on that plate but gristle and fat. Oh, God, no. No problem.
All right, we're going to go to Christine. Hi there, Christine.
Hi.
All right, name that movie, Christine.
The Great Outdoors.
That is correct. Absolutely correct. The old 96er. Hang on, Christine. Here's what we have for you.
All right, Christine, you won Barbie on digital. Margot Robbie brings Barbie to life with Ryan Gosling and an all-star cast, and you can own it now on digital.
All right, those are the only ones I sent over to Marissa, Casey.
Let's see what else we got here.
We have other ones.
Yeah, let me.
In the Wayback File?
Yeah, there's actually Marissa found a whole bunch, and there's some that we set aside and then we forget to use or don't have time to use.
Yeah.
So
when you're a rolling steamroller of entertainment.
It's what
I'm trying to think here. I want to go. Did we do this one?
Yeah, we did. But I think. How about hold on, Case. Let me have the mouse for a moment here.
Okay.
I think.
Give me the mouse.
Oh wait, I can't. I don't know.
Wrong mouse.
All right, I just moved everything. You pick something. So I messed that up.
Yeah. You know what, man?
Shoot the mouse.
I'm gonna do this one.
Okay. I think we've done it, but let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
All right, here we go. What movie is this from?
Hey, why don't you go find some, what are the little potatoes called? The tiny ones?
Fingerling potatoes?
Yeah, I love fingerling potatoes.
All right. That's such a great clip from that movie. 215-263-WMMR. What movie is that from? Order up.
Oh, wait, I'm not ready. Now I am.
Last one.
All right.
Because our guest is here.
Oh, all right. Excellent.
Love that. Then I need to end on a good one here. How about this one? Food giant Kraft Heinz has announced that it is recalling more than 83,000 cases of individually wrapped Kraft Singles American processed cheese slices.
I better know why.
Why?
Because sometimes the wrapping sticks so tightly to the cheese that people are eating the wrapping.
Kind of.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That is due to a potential choking hazard, but it's not because of the wrapping that we've known for all these years. They had something wrong with one of the wrapping machines.
All right.
And it allowed for thin strips of film to remain on the cheese slices after the wrapper is removed.
So you think you've removed it entirely and
Yes.
you're still getting a little plastic
The
shrapnel.
film sticks to the slice and it is not removed, and it could be unpleasant and potentially cause a gagging or choking hazard.
You know, so they had them individually sliced, but in a block where they would peel off easier, and then they individually, wrap them and all that stuff. And after a while, if you had the cheese for long enough, you could not separate.
Yeah. I mean, it's too bad because it's a lot of plastic waste. Those single individually wrapped. And when you go to the deli, you get it sliced and it's all stacked on top of each other. But you've just gotten that freshly cut. You're probably not going to have it very, very long. The way Kraft is such a big operation that stuff sits for a while and has to be shipped off and get to its location and eventually brought out. And so time passes, and I see what you're saying, that everything would just kind of
congeal and be
mushed together.
But a regular standard cheese slicer, right?
Yeah.
With the little Hitman wire, will get it done.
Yeah.
But the Velveeta individual slices, I actually prefer over the Kraft.
Well, they're each in a leather pouch.
Yes.
So that makes it much more enticing. Right?
You save the leather pouches.
Yeah. Velveeta, which you think is the cheapest cheese, is wrapped in each one has a leather pouch.
Wow. So the recall applies to 16-ounce Kraft Singles American pasteurized prepared cheese products with a use date by January 10th to 2024 to January 27th, 2024. So it's a very specific one. The company said it discovered the issue after receiving several customer complaints about finding the plastic stuck to a slice, with 6 customers complaining about choking and gagging on the product.
So if you've choked to death on a slice, you might be owed some money.
There were no reports of injuries or serious health issues, according to Kraft. They said it has since fixed the wrapping machine and inspected all the other processing machines.
To be honest, this was all eliminated years ago by the spray cheese, but your finer cheeses don't tend to come that way.
All right, we need to know what movie this clip is from.
Hey, why don't you go find some, what are the little potatoes called? The tiny ones?
Fingerling potatoes?
Yeah, I love fingerling potatoes.
All right, let's go to Sarah. Hey, Sarah, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, what movie is that from?
Definitely from Don't Look Up.
Absolutely. You are correct. Hang on. Timothy Chalamet with the love fingerling potatoes line. Case, what do we have for Sarah?
Sarah, you have Barbie on digital. Margot Robbie brings Barbie to life with Ryan Gosling and an all-star cast, and you can own it now on digital.
Thing of beauty. Hang on the line. We'll get your information, Sarah. You will be good to go. And that is all we have time for in the Connoisseur today. Thank you very much, everyone, for being a part of it. Listen, we want to take a break because our guest is indeed here, and we're excited to have him back in our studio this morning. So stick around as Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia will be right here with us. Stay put. We'll be right back.
Bicycle is the most consistent, and like now you're gonna get me going, but like to be able just to kind of do things like that looked really good on Zoom right there. But they just feel good. They just look good, right? And so they fan nice. Like, come on, are you kidding me? Watch this. Hey, for those at home, I'm just
that's impressive.
That's an impressive fan. Hey, John, can you do the one where you where you're just holding the deck in your hand flat and you just flip that top card up in the air and over? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, and he's coughing him up. I'm blown away by that stuff. It's just.
This comes out of the center. Oh,
man!
You know what I mean?
Wow!
Man, and he catches it. Here's something here. Little Zoom something for you. It's gonna be hard. Preston, you're the guy in the camera here, so I'm just gonna use you. Just say stop.
And stop right there. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna out jog that.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of hard here on Zoom, but. Here we go. Can you see that or no?
Yep, I got it.
What do you see?
I see the 10 of diamonds.
Ooh. Perfect. Do you have a cell phone, a wallet, pad of paper?
I got a cell phone.
He's got a cell phone and whatever you need.
I have a pad of paper and a wallet.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Do you have all three?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, get them. Okay.
We're a major market show.
Okay, so put your wallet on your hand first.
Okay. Dear God.
Okay. Here it comes.
Yeah.
And then your phone on top of that.
Okay.
Pad of paper on top of that.
Yeah.
And then your hand on top of that.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be sick. One more time. What do you see?
10 of diamonds.
10 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hopefully this will work. I don't know, but watch. If we take the 10 through Zoom.
It's gone.
Okay. Wow.
We can get it to vanish.
Okay.
Preston, lift your hand up.
Dude, no. Okay.
Lift the paper up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nothing under the paper. Yep.
Yeah. Put it down. Lift the phone up.
Okay.
Yeah. And now put that down.
Okay.
And now just lift your wallet straight up.
Okay.
Is there something on your hand? You would have flipped out if it was. Hold on.
Okay.
You know what? It might have not gone through. Can you pick your wallet up again?
Yeah.
Can you open it?
Yes.
Is there something inside? Go ahead and look through there. Is there something in the?
Are you serious?
Shut up.
No.
Dude. Stop it.
There's a 10 of diamonds in Preston's wallet.
That's as good as I can get through Zoom. Right there.
Which one of you a-holes took my wallet and put this in here? That's insane.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
The 10 of diamonds.
Oh.
You're the devil.
Yeah, and go Borgata Friday night. I will be there.
Yes, and honestly, that room
just happened.
That room is perfect for magic. By the way, it's going to be awesome.
Why couldn't you do that with like $100 bill?
I thought it was gonna if I had a $10 bill or something like in that he would.
That's awesome.
Screw you, man. I mean that lovingly. That's insane, dude. You're crazy. All right, John, we love you, pal. It's good to talk to you, and have a great time in AC.
Yeah, and if you guys want to give away tickets, give them away. Let me know.
All right, that'd be awesome.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you so much, John freaking Dornbos.
Now you're trying to figure out what the hell happened. I had nothing to do with that.
That's freaking me out, man.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was just going to make it. I thought he was just going to say that it was a joke, which it was, and and it was funny.
And then it's in your wallet.
This was in my wallet. I didn't do that.
Sure you didn't.
One of you guys did it.
No.
One of you guys did it.
No.
One of you guys did it.
No.
I'll find out later.
That's magic, man. Wow. Don't if you upgrade to the premium package on Zoom, it comes with magic.
Is that what it comes with? If you look back to when test tube babies was a very controversial idea, and there was all kinds of uproar against that type of thing, and now fertility stuff is commonplace. I mean, it's exactly
You
what
can
you
get
do.
powdered mix.
Yeah, to make babies.
Okay, can they extract semen out of a fully vasectomized nutsack? Can they do that?
Did you just whisper nutsack?
The question in front of the panel today is, can semen be fully extracted from a nutsack?
Excuse me, sir. I think we couldn't hear you.
What?
Sir? Could you speak up, please?
Can semen be extracted from a fully...
but can it though? Or
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so I
Because
have,
they said
I have my prostate is out and my seminal vesicles, I guess they're referred to, are
They ain't
removed.
there.
Right.
Mine are still there, right? So I've been vasectomized.
I believe you can still produce a little.
I can.
If you get the attachment.
So here's the deal. Like, they say that you can reverse a vasectomy.
Yes,
It's
you
not
can.
100%. It's not 100%, but they do, all they do is just, reattach or whatever.
Except it comes out your butt.
So, but what that tells me...
If you reverse it fully.
I guess my wife would be way less inclined to make a baby that way.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Science.
All right.
But...
All right, back up to my vagina.
God.
Oh, boy.
The,
Case, it looks like
Sorry, I snorted.
it says you can withdraw sperm from the testicle, but I don't know if that's if that's after the vasectomy.
It has to be, because if it can be reversed, it means I'm still making
So
it.
you're still making it, but your body absorbs it.
Right, because you've closed or the pathway.
Right.
You've closed the egress, as they say.
Right.
Right.
So if you had to bet on the male members of the Preston and Steve show conceiving a baby at this point, where would you put your money? Because Preston and Casey and I have all been had vasectomies.
I'd put my money
There's
on
no
Steve.
way.
Steve had prostate cancer and had his prostate removed. So, but
I don't understand your question.
If one of us were forced to have a baby, if we had to keep we had to keep like the population of the earth going.
I would do it.
I would love to have another baby.
Who would have the best chance?
Doctor was wondering, could you help me?
Scientists come to us.
Even though we've had a vasectomy.
Right, yeah. Where's the money on the male members of the Preston and Steve show producing another human being?
Without having a reversal done?
Yeah.
It has
None
happened.
of us, I guess.
But that's what I'm asking about, like with Casey's question. Like, if we took the sperm out of the nutsack,
He's saying who's
who's the best chance?
Yeah.
Oh, who would be?
It wouldn't be Steve, right?
You guys are
No,
the same
Steve
age. I have
He doesn't
no-
have
His
anymore.
is different
I've
than
got
what
confetti in mine.
You guys can still produce it.
Yeah.
Your body's just
Okay.
absorbing it.
Okay, I don't know. That's why
So
I'm
you're
I know.
full
You've had
of
three
sperm,
kids.
Nick.
You've had 3 kids.
Yeah.
So I'd put our money
I got
on
like
us
6 or
over
7
you.
that I don't know about.
Yeah. Wow.
Has Bill hung himself yet, by the way, with this conversation?
I don't know. Did you think about what you were talking about in the bathroom?
I did.
Okay. Casey and I had a conversation in the bathroom.
Did you?
He's like, I think I want to ask you something, but I don't know if I want to ask you on the air or not.
Was it about the Dunkachino machine?
No, I think we're good on
'cause
that.
We just shot a video, Marissa and I. I sort of had to explain why it literally looks like I put it through a grenade into the machine.
I saw it. It's pretty nasty.
I ran into Andy in the kitchen, and she was like, "I just saw the email that said it was all good to go." She goes, "But what happened?"
Anyway,
Is it all cleaned up, by the way? It's
I didn't do it. I tried. There were no paper towels. There was no.
Casey keeps a stash of paper towels if you ever need them.
Yes.
And they have them in the bathroom too. So
Yeah.
I'll grab those. Hold on, Marissa has an update, I guess.
I don't know if it's cleaned up, but it is fixed.
Okay.
All right, excellent.
Matt Cowper swung by and
All right,
fixed it.
Oh, that was a
Just call me Mr. Fix It.
I just thought you were just accentuating fixed, but that was a Matt
No
Cowper.
reason to stress out.
Yeah. So anyway,
okay. So this is a judgment call for everybody here. All right. So
if we don't want to talk about this, we'll move on to something
We can
else.
move on.
If we
All right.
decide
Move
this
on.
is not worth talking about,
Is
Casey
it
was
about food, pretzel-like food in Oregon?
It's not food.
He was wrestling with the idea of bringing it up or not. So
All right, go ahead.
So judgment call. So your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend is asleep. They're napping, right? And you have a hankering to go to Rita's Water Ice,
right?
And okay,
I know. Okay.
I know where you're going with this too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick question: did this happen to you, and did it cause a problem?
This happened to me, and I got the double middle finger last night, so, and said spouse woke up.
I had a similar thing happen recently, so I can commiserate. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you wake your spouse up to see if they would like something from Rita's Water Ice?
As they are resting, as they are getting their much-deserved sleep, correct?
Yes. Wow. And you know this person.
I can
and
answer immediately when you're done.
You have woken said person up from a peaceful nap before, and it was never a good experience. So, so do you leave them asleep? Okay. So you have a couple options here. You leave them asleep, right? And you don't get them anything from Rita's because for some reason
do you touch their boobies?
Always. For some reason, if you go to any other store, you know exactly what to get them, right? You know how they like their stuff. But for some reason, you don't know what their go-to order at Rita's is.
Wait, you didn't get her anything?
Hold on. May I ask you? May I ask you a question?
Yes.
While this debate was going on, did something in the back of your mind go, "She'll never know"?
There might have been that.
That's exactly what it was. You thought that if you ate it quickly enough, the remnants of it would be gone, and she would be none the wiser.
No
But
fuss,
you
no
do
muss.
know her. You could take it. I'm sure you would have gotten something that she liked.
There was a good chance
Don't come home with nothing.
There was a good chance that said nap could have turned into a full night's sleep.
Or
you could put it in the freezer.
Diane doesn't like it when Casey spends money on frivolous things, and she would have gotten mad that he spent money on them.
My wife. Well, here's my situation. My wife will take 5-6 hour naps.
Yeah.
So I mean, she is, and I commend her for this.
Yes.
It happened over the weekend. It's the ice cream bakery on Ridge. And they have great soft ice cream. And so I'm like, I'm getting a damn cone as I pass by. There was not the traditional 80-car line going in. And I'm like, I'm going for it. But I call an audible.
Yeah.
And I bought her something, and it was a home run. I kind of knew what she wanted.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do the gesture.
Yeah.
And that buys you. I gave it a shot.
Yeah, my wife just sent me a text. She goes, "You don't have to wake me up. Just buy me my favorite flavor." Now, I'm going to admit, I don't know what your favorite flavor is at name a store, and I can tell you what she gets from that store.
I believe that.
For some reason, Rita's, I'm like, I don't know what your favorite flavor is there.
Rita's is a sweet spot thing too. I mean, like that's a very specific. You're omitting somebody from you going there, right? So, and in my household, if I were to do that, that would be the end of the relationship. So.
WMMR.
All right, thank you, Kathy. So our next guest, we are delighted to have in our studio. He returns to Philadelphia for the event tomorrow night, the Always Sunny Podcast Live at the Man. Tickets available at mancenter.org if you can get them. But ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have Glenn Howerton in our studio.
I am so happy to be here, guys.
Nice to see you, man.
Now, listen, I know you guys have questions for me, but I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how long have you guys been doing this show?
We're in our 25th year.
Yeah.
25th year.
And then we worked, Preston was doing afternoon drive, and I was doing a remote check-in with him for about 2 years prior to that, right?
Yeah, so we worked in addition to that. Yeah.
Now, are any of you guys coffee drinkers?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
We all are.
love it. You love coffee, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
do I.
Yeah.
So do I. So explain this.
Oh, I love you.
And for those of you who are not watching, I'm holding up a coffee cup right now.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It's not good.
I warned you.
It's not good coffee. I know you did, but I feel compelled to bring it up because I figure there's got to be at least a few coffee drinkers in the bunch.
You know,
and wouldn't you, as the boss,
well, we're
kind of come in and go,
Take care of it.
listen, this needs to be handled. We got to
Glenn,
take care of this.
It's like your grandmother. There's good days and there's bad days, man.
It's who makes
It
it.
depends on who makes
And
the
that's
coffee.
really it. It says there's no one barista overseeing it.
That's
so
what we
you have
need.
people who are just shy of heroin addicts who are making it, and then you have people who want it really benign. And so when I make it, apparently everyone gets very critical because it's not potent enough.
Yeah.
And then there are people, it literally looks in the filter like a bundt cake. That's how much cake. I mean,
Glenn,
it's crazy.
This is ongoing in our office. The fight over who makes the coffee, who drinks it, who doesn't refill it, who turns off the
burner.
burners.
Yeah,
how
turns
it's
the
made.
burners off on full carafe of coffee.
Okay.
So then you get cold coffee. It's like
Sorry.
it is
There are,
ongoing.
no, that's what, so there are conversations happening around this.
Yeah.
We just haven't solved the
Right,
problem.
right, yeah.
Okay.
So when you got here, I offered you a cup of crappy kitchen coffee, and you politely declined, and now you're drinking it. And I said, Kathy has her own machine.
Yeah.
And you should have gone with the Kathy machine.
I should have gone with the Kathy machine.
I could make it for you.
Yeah. Okay, next time. All right. Okay.
We'll see if we can get the mix right before the end of the interview where you have something that's
this
viable.
Is, you know, the blend of coffee beans is very important.
Yes.
You know, and you know, we're here to talk about a blend, so it's a
That's
good
true.
segue.
Yeah.
We are here to talk about a blend of whiskey.
So this is
Called Four
very
Walls.
exciting. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Preston, you are a drinker of whiskey.
Very
yes,
much
yes.
so.
And
Yeah.
so this is very cool. Who amongst the collective are you all whiskey drinkers, or was there a main proponent driving the whiskey brand, or how from inception to now, how did it progress?
Well, all of us at certainly at times in our lives have been whiskey drinkers. I would say amongst the three of us, me, Rob, and Charlie, Rob and I are both more whiskey drinkers than Charlie is. And you know, Rob, he's kind of a cocktail guy. He likes his old fashions and Manhattans.
Right.
And I personally, I like to drink it straight or on the rocks.
Okay.
So.
Yep. I'm an on the rocks guy. I do like cocktails as well. I'm telling you, this is a sexy bottle.
Thanks, buddy.
I absolutely love this. It's got a
Can you hold it up there, Preston?
it's got a really cool classic font on it.
It looks great.
Very much you think Irish when you see this, and it says on here it's Irish. It's a blend of Irish whiskeys and American rye whiskey, and it's got something really cool on it. It has a toast on the side here.
Classic Celtic toast,
which is not classic. Well, I mean, it's togetherness. It says,
may your coffee always be strong.
No, it says, raise a glass to the room that brings us together, to the place the gang calls home, to the four walls that hold our good times in and keep our troubles out, to the bar. And then so it comes with its own toast. That's pretty smart. I've not been aware of any other whiskeys that have done that.
Well, we you know, the whole idea behind this from the very beginning. So last year we did a limited release of Four Walls whiskey. We did a blend of Irish and American, and then we did this really special 15-year Irish whiskey, which was all in celebration of the 15th season of the show, and also to give back to the bartending and serving community in in Pennsylvania. So all the proceeds went towards those charities.
That's great.
People who were affected by the pandemic, and it was really just our way initially of giving back to the bartending community, to the community of people that kind of raised us, in our youth when we were kids in our 20s drinking whiskey. So it was just a way to celebrate the city of Philadelphia, to celebrate our love of whiskey, to celebrate the bars and the bartenders, and the reception we got was so massive and so fun, and we realized this would be a massive missed opportunity if we didn't put out like a mass release version of this.
I think people would just finally beg you into doing it anyway once they caught wind of it and wanted to experience it themselves, on a larger scale. So you were gonna have to do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as if we didn't discuss it.
Yeah.
It was always on the table, but we didn't know if we didn't know how it was going to be received. We didn't know, if people were going to enjoy the liquid. We didn't know, you just have no idea. So it was very heartening to see how it was received. So so now we've got a mass market release coming out in October here in Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
Well, Preston, I know you have a golf tournament after the show today. I myself do not, and I believe it's tradition to follow up a toast with a sip. So I would like to try said whiskey. We've been given permission to crack the bottle.
Okay. Do we have any other uncracked bottles here, or is this the only one?
Preston is going to want.
I want Glenn to sign one. And I want to keep it as a memento. So I'm cracking this open. Here you go.
We'll get you an
We've got
one.
We'll.
Let me ask you, Glenn, while they're doing this.
Yeah.
The so we've had we've had actors and performers and rock stars come through, and for example, when they write a book or something, or something that is, you would think, that would be something sort of lesser on the scale of importance. They're blown away by seeing their name on a book.
Oh,
seeing this bottle, seeing this thing come to fruition, did it impact you?
Yeah, nobody's asked me that yet, and that is probably yes.
Yeah,
very much so. it's like I mean, we just posted an Instagram video of me literally crying.
Yeah.
At the distillery in Ireland.
Wow.
Because it was the first time I'd ever really seen the whole thing being put together.
Yeah, the people that are putting it together, who are doing it, who are laboring on this thing, the extended benefit of just of it on that level.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And it was the first time I'd seen the new bottles, which is the bottle that most people are going to see, and I got very emotional about it. And you know, I always knew from the very beginning that this was important to me because whiskey has been such an important part of my youth and it was the first good drink I'd ever had. Like somebody was nice enough. I was super broke living in New York City, and I was at a dinner. It was one of those things where somebody was paying for everything, and they were like, "You should try Scotch." And I tried it, and that was hooked from that point forward. I didn't realize whiskey. You know, I'd only ever really had like shitty whiskey and cokes. Sorry,
cruddy. Yeah,
cruddy whiskey and cokes. You know, so I didn't know that whiskey could be so good on its own. And you know, from that point forward, I became a whiskey drinker. And you know, so to see my own whiskey and my name on the whiskey is
totally. And like I said, the bottle alone. It's sometimes the look of a bottle will go. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
There's a good look about that, whatever that is, and that's what I like about that. It looks really cool, and to hold that in your hand for the first time and say, "Wow, this looks legit." You know?
It was cool.
That's cool.
It was cool.
I'm fascinated by that whole culture of the bottles. Or if you're talking about wine, the vineyards, or all of that. The science behind it, the visceral, the response you get from the look of the bottle, all of that stuff is precise, and yet it's also creative at the same time.
Totally, yeah. No, I mean, there's a science to obviously to distilling and creating whiskey from scratch, but the art of it really is in the blend, and that was what was so exciting about this is that it's a blend that's never been really done. I mean, it's been done, but this is one of the first brands that's ever done an Irish-American blend.
If you're tuning in, it's Four Walls is the name of the whiskey that Glenn is here. Glenn Howerton, and he and Charlie and Rob are behind this whole thing. Are you going to try some, Nick?
I am, yeah. The first time my dad ever took me to a bar was an Irish bar in Alexandria, Virginia, and he bought me a glass of whiskey on the rocks. So this is from my dad and for you, Glenn, so thank you so much.
Cheers. I want to get your reaction.
Well, you got to savor it a little bit.
Yeah.
That is very smooth. There's no bite, and
that's an Irish whiskey for you right there. Usually you don't have that big burn.
And then it does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is warm you in your belly.
There you go.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Good, yeah.
Hey, question: Does Danny still have his limoncello, or did that come and go?
Oh, you know what? I think that came and went.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what went wrong there or why it didn't, but
or was it always meant to be limited?
No, I don't think so. It was meant to go on and on. It was. I don't think it is around anymore.
Okay.
All right. So, because I guess he would have been the first one of you guys to dip his toes into the booze.
right.
So don't seek his counsel when it comes to dealing with your.
Clearly not.
I was watching TV last night, and there was a commercial with Danny on it, and then knew that you were gonna be in here today. And does it still blow you away that you get to work with that guy? Because he is a legend, and he's still working, and he's still funny and viable. It blows me away that it's Danny DeVito on Always Sunny.
It all blows me. The whole thing blows me away. The fact that we're still doing the show, the fact that I even have a show that I created that's still on the air, the fact that I'm working with Danny DeVito, I don't take any of it for granted. Honestly, it blows me away at almost every. Well, there are days where it doesn't blow me away.
Okay.
There are days where I'm just in a bad mood. Like anyone.
We all have that. Yeah.
But for the most part, my overall sense is that I'm blown away by all of it. Honestly,
I mean, the dude's. I was watching Hoffa the other day.
Yeah.
He directed Hoffa.
Yeah.
I mean, he directed many movies. I mean, that's a powerhouse cast. Nicholson, the whole thing. He's in it. I mean, he's a phenomenal talent.
Well, this is so. I was actually talking about this with somebody the other day. They asked me, "It's got to be so fun to work with Danny. Like, is he just?" And I was saying, he's just like you would think, and and in so many ways he really is. And then they said, "Oh, so he's really just being himself on the show. He's not really even acting." And I was like, well, to a degree, that is true. And there are times where he's just allowing his own personality to come out through the character of Frank on the show. But then we have these moments where we write these monologues for him, or he has a moment where he's got to really do some real acting.
Right.
And it's in those moments. At all of this, you ask any one of us this, where you just watch that guy and you're like, oh, right. He's like an Oscar nominated Oscar. I mean, he's such a he's an amazing caliber of actor, and he is so fun and so funny and so easy to work with that it's easy to forget that. But it's in those moments that I realize that I'm working with like a master of the craft.
Yeah.
Because when he's got to really bring it and do some real acting stuff, he's amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
When Steve and I did had our first chance to be on the show is when you guys were shooting here in Philadelphia. And we were in Center City, and we had to go buy makeup. And we're in the makeup trailer. And it's me and Steve and the hair person. And Danny comes in, and he's going to get set. And the hair person had to leave. And Steve and I look at each other, and we're like, we are alone.
We're
with
talking.
Danny DeVito
We are
right
talking.
now in this little bitty trailer. And we're like getting all nervous and everything. But the conversation was smooth and easy. And we ended up talking about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Like, he didn't have any problem at all.
Oh, we had
talking about his classic roles,
Death
which you
to
would think
Smoochie.
we'd get. We talked about Death to
Had to hit Death to Smoochie.
But,
Love that
but
movie.
You would think that a guy who's done it for that long would be kind of like, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
He is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He really is.
It's being
Such a great
he's able to
experience.
hover above, and be him, but also have that repository of capability. I wanted to ask you, because I mentioned this to Nick the other day, and we were just talking about you coming on, and I was saying, I hope that they are instituting a campaign for a nomination for you for Blackberry.
Oh, thank you.
Because I love the movie. I know Nick loved the movie as well, and we had you on to talk about it. The role was fantastic, and I recommend everyone see it. Whether if you're fascinated with just the birth of a portion of technology that we're all using today, and just it has intrigue and all of that stuff. But the performance was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And so I don't know if that's something you can talk about, but is that
It is, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it was a not one of the studios that's being struck against, and
okay,
we had conversations with SAG about whether we should talk about the movie, whether they're okay with us talking about the movie, and they gave us the green light.
Good.
So we can,
cool.
It's nice to be able to talk about it again, because it was a small independent. It was an independent film. It was not a big, huge budget studio movie. Although I would argue it looked pretty fantastic and.
Top level, again, Jay Baruchel, the supporting cast, Barry Elway, Saul Rubinek, Michael Ironside, all of these people who are terrific. And it's interesting because it is tense, and it's drama, and it's comedy as well, and it's all rooted. I mean, it prompted me to check out other documentaries about that period, about those people, and it's pretty spot on. There's not a lot of crazy liberties taken with the story, which makes it all the more interesting.
Yeah, no, it's a true story. I mean, the actual mechanics of how things went down, of course, have to be dramatized and fictionalized to a degree. But the essence of it is really the rise and fall is what happened.
It's the story of the BlackBerry, and we talked about this before. And what we all have now moved, evolutionarily speaking, many levels past. I mean, it rocked the world. I mean, you're talking about a Steve Jobs level occurrence, and it's sort of a story that was not told, but it is fascinating.
Yeah, amazing that something like that. You hear so much about the story of Apple and Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And, all these big guys in the tech industry, and yet it wasn't really until this movie came out that most people learned the story behind one of the most iconic phones ever.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about BlackBerry or the business behind the people behind it prior to reading the script. I mean, I was like, wow, how do people not know this? This is incredible. Yeah. I don't know, but it was an amazing story, and the reception we've gotten has gone so far beyond anything I could have anticipated or hoped for.
It's streaming. I mean, if you want to, you can get it, you can see it, and rent it or whatever. But it's available. I encourage you, if you're interested in anything remotely associated with this, it's really solid.
Well, and look it up on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Look at the. I mean, it's just been the reception has been incredible.
Huge,
by, people who just regular folks who are watching the movie, and also the critics. It's been, it was. I felt like I was taking a big swing as an actor, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. Or
just a haircut alone.
It's just a haircut alone. Yeah, exactly.
That you would do that, and you're going going way out on that gangplank, and but it delivered. And,
Well,
and,
it's
and
funny,
actually,
I feel like I'm so different from the character that I played,
Yeah.
and as an actor, that's fun. To get to step into something that is. I get to express a side of myself that I don't express in my real life. Although now I'm running a business, so Matt, you know what I mean? Might have to turn into that guy.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it's so fun to do something that different from myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Glenn, I think we had you on while you were filming it because you were wearing a hat and it was via
yes.
Zoom.
Yeah.
And you took the hat off to reveal the haircut and you know you're bald in the movie. I'm always curious as to how a movie like that with you and all the actors that Steve named gets made in the first place. Is it you know, does the script float across your desk and you read it and it appeals to you? Does somebody recommend it to you? How does that go from we'd love for Glenn Howerton to be in this movie to actually Glenn being in the movie and then it getting made? Because I don't understand how that process even starts or it then gets completed.
Yeah, it's different every time. Sometimes an actor is involved from the very, very beginning. Other times the script gets bought by somebody and that producer has connections to certain actors and they put it together that way. Usually before something gets financed, there are at least a few key things in place. A director of a certain stature, a script that's just so undeniably amazing. You know, in this particular case, Matt Johnson and Matt Miller, who wrote the script and produced the film, and Matt Johnson directed the film, they had strong ties within the Canadian film community. So they got funding pretty quickly through their various connections in Canada, just based on, I don't even know if the script was written. I mean, I think it got, well, I'm sure before they got the actual money, because they needed to know what they were spending the money on.
they got governmental funding, right?
Yeah.
So the program in Canada will promote Canadian films, right?
Yeah, and it's actually, they're going to release it, or maybe they already did. I should find out. They're going to release it as a 3-part miniseries, too, and it's going to be a slightly extended cut of the film.
Okay.
In Canada.
How long did you guys shoot? How long was the shoot? How long did that last?
It was 7 weeks. It was a 7-week shoot.
So my question then is, how did you keep your haircut intact? Did you have to keep getting shaved down like every single day? And
Shave it every day.
And then what did you do about tan lines? Because we...
Here, I'll just show you, because every 5 years, Casey gets a new driver's license, and he does a new haircut, and this was his most recent one.
Oh my!
He did that specifically for his driver's license.
How did they? I thought they didn't allow you to do it.
They'll let you do it.
But he's had trouble in the past. Like, right? One time you went and she was giving you a hard time.
So the one before that, I grew my hair out for 2 years.
If you could pop up on the screen here of Casey, we have a montage of Casey's license picture.
Yeah, Connor, if you can find that, he's looking for it now. We'll show you in a second.
This is fantastic.
That was the second time.
The tan line, because I had gotten the haircut the day before. And I probably should have gotten like a spray tan or something like that. But
these are all of Casey's driver's legit, Glenn, legit driver's license photos.
He commits.
He spends years thinking about what he's going to do.
This is madness,
isn't it?
Yeah,
that is madness.
When you get pulled over, does anybody ever say anything?
Never. I don't. I think actually the one in the middle, the one where I'm wearing the yellow shirt and I got the hair. I think that one got me out of a ticket once.
Sometimes I can't believe you're real.
Yeah.
Well, the one risk you run is them believing you're you.
Yeah.
And that's always the liability with this. But I mean, people don't realize how outlandish these pictures are.
You know what? This would make a great headshot. You know what I'm saying? You know how some actors, they have like the quad shot where it's just like different characters in each quadrant?
Show your range. Yeah.
The one on the lower right I had made into a flag for him that he displays at the beach.
That was the one that I grew my hair out for 2 years for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't you have a mug of one of them, Preston?
Yeah, I've the same one.
Okay.
I've got a mug. It's in the office.
You look like a hacksaw Jim Duggan.
I love it.
Hey, I wanted to ask, going back to the scripts and how a project comes along. I personally have never read a script. How different is that from reading, say, a book? Do you have to be in a different mindset mentally when you're reading that? Because I know a great book when I read a great book, but I don't know if I'd know a great script if I've read a great script.
Yeah, scripts are different for sure, because they're more. It's more of an instruction manual for the movie that's going to be made. So there are certainly screenwriters who take pride in how they write stage direction so that it reads a little bit more like a novel. But you have to be so concise. a novel can spend 3 pages just talking about a tree that the main character's looking at. You know what I mean? Whereas like a script can't do that. So it's much more challenging to write something that's an enjoyable experience to read because it's not meant to be read; it's meant to be a film.
And so if you add a director into the mix, you can maybe in your head go, okay, I can see what so and so would do with this script. Okay,
there are script writers though that are like William Goldman or that are legendary for writing them almost like novels.
Yes.
And so because this is the way I want to see it up on screen. It's, it is an interesting experience to read. It's like you talk about. We were talking with Patton Oswalt, who you worked with, obviously on AP Bio, and about comic books and how they're sort of halfway between because it's the way that you read the page. And like he points out that on the turn page, the page you flip over should be the beat that's like da da da, and that's the way you're meant to be consumed. But you're right, a script kind of lays in a weird, the instructional or directions is more of an interesting.
Well, I found that novelists who then either adapt their own books into screenplays or write original screenplays. They tend to write their screenplays in the way that you're describing.
Right.
Like for instance, Noah Hawley. Right, who created the Fargo series?
Yes,
and has done a number of things. But anytime I've ever read a Noah Hawley script, it's incredible. It's just as good as reading a Noah Hawley book.
Right.
He just has that's just a strength of his that not a lot of screenwriters even think they need to do, and they don't really. But he recognizes that the experience of reading the script is going to affect whether somebody wants to make it or not. So, if you can write something that's actually enjoyable to read, maybe he's got a better chance of actually getting it made. Or maybe that's just who he is. I don't think he can help himself. He's just so talented.
You referenced the length of our show earlier in the interview, and our show's okay. We've been doing all right for a little while. But when I go to other cities and I listen to other radio stations, I can always tell when it's bad, right? And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. You can just tell like something's off or whatever. You're a writer. When you read something that's bad, what strikes you immediately? Is it they don't develop the characters? Is there something that is pointed out to you and you're like, this is just not good writing?
Cliche.
Oh, cliche. Yes.
Yeah. Any time where I feel like they're writing something where it's like they know these beats are going to work, but the reason they know they're going to work is because they've been done before. And I think a lot of writers that write that kind of cliche into a script don't realize that that's what they're doing. They're like, oh yeah, this is cool, but they don't realize like the only reason you think that's cool is because you've seen it in 50 other movies.
I just watched a documentary that was a collection of writers interviewed over the years, great screenwriters, and that's what they bring up. They bring up, not saying phoning it in, but you're just it's rote now.
Yeah, you're just recycling all the things that you've seen in other things.
Right.
Yeah, that's no good.
Well, I mean, it's also hard. I mean, people have been telling stories for since the dawn of time. So like how do you tell a story different? But what I think one of the great appeals of Always Sunny is that the gang never wins, right? So like, and whenever you watch something, it's like okay. Everything's going to resolve and they're going to win at the and so what I watch when I watch your show, and I've watched every single episode, and there aren't many shows out there that I've seen every single episode of. It's like everything is a surprise, and it's like okay, the show starts here. Like, where's this going? Because where it starts the first 5 minutes is not where it's going to end at all.
Yeah, I think subverting expectation has always been a goal of ours. It's what I've always enjoyed in things that I watch. I don't want to be able to you can't help yourselves. We've all been so we've seen so many movies and TV shows, and so that you don't even realize you're doing it, but you're anticipating what's going to happen next, and you're pretty sure you know what it is. And when you're right, it's kind of a letdown.
Yeah. Well,
actually.
So like whenever I watch those movies or shows that it's like a conspiracy, it's like CIA and and the best friend was the bad guy the whole time. It's like I come on, man. I didn't need 8 episodes to find out that I'm not going to say, but there's a show I want you to watch, Steve, so we could talk about this because the whole time I'm like, it's his best friend,
right,
the whole time.
But sometimes that's the mechanism, Sometimes and it's funny when people talk about comedy or whatever. There are rules, but there are no rules. Like if you wrote it, and even to the things that are the tropes that are always, if it's done and it's entertaining, then it's like, okay, all right. You know, so you would prefer that it not, but if you can pull it off.
Yeah,
And I
well,
think that's the seductive nature of going to those things.
Yeah. Well, I do think that the performers, and the way it's presented, the way the performers perform it, I think, a movie that is rather cliche in many moments, if it's got good enough actors in it,
Yeah.
you can kind of pull it off in a way that somebody else couldn't. But
That's why when they talk about an actor that can open a movie, like, okay, well, the go-to, the person who will, okay, it doesn't matter. I want to see this person,
Right. Yeah, there's not as many of those.
No.
So with your coworkers, when you see them in other things, is it tough for you to eliminate the actual person from the character? And I'm asking because just recently I didn't even expect it. I started watching The Saints of Second Chance or Second Chance Saints. It's a documentary.
Okay.
And Charlie Day's in it. And I was like, and at first I was like, I'm like, that looks like Charlie Day a lot, And then I had to because it looked like him, and then I had to look it up on IMDb. I'm like, sure enough, it is him. It's a documentary, but they have some reenactments, and he plays did you not know about
I've
this?
never heard of this.
It just showed up on Netflix.
Saints of Second Chances.
Yeah.
It's a sports thing, right? It's a sports
So the guy, Bill Veeck, used to own the Chicago White Sox. His son was the idea man behind Disco Sucks Night there.
Right.
And then Mike Veeck ends up buying a minor league team, and Charlie Day in the historical reenactments plays Mike Veeck.
I've never heard of this. I swear, I've never heard of this. He did not mention this. I don't know any. This is the first I'm hearing of this.
So, well, watch it. I know we were talking earlier off air about you don't get to watch things that much, but it is on Netflix and it's
good?
available.
Do you get that? Do you get this? So I'll be out at an event and people always say, "Where's Preston?" Or I'll be out,
right.
And do you get that? Because you're viewed as the troika, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, they can't understand how you're not always all together. You know what I mean?
I struggle with the on-screen scenes with Rob and Caitlin, knowing that they're married and just how terribly they treat each other on
that
on
makes
the
it
show.
funnier.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you watch, because Steve and I talk about it a lot, the outtakes? If I'm in a bad mood, if I have a crappy day, I watch Sunny outtakes to make myself laugh and feel better.
Yeah, we actually often, when we have to do a new season, especially as we get into the later seasons, and there's always a little bit nowadays when we start, we're like, oh man, what are we gonna do? We've done everything. There's nothing like. So we'll start almost every season by watching bloopers.
Oh, that's great.
And the reason we do it is because it reminds us of how fun it is to do the show. We need to be reminded in those moments.
Perfect.
It's like, oh wait, no. This when it's really like gelling and coming together, it's the greatest thing
I can tell you that I am, and I've seen every episode. I obviously love the series. I'm probably more capable of quoting the bloopers than I are of the actual dialogue moments. And there are different presentations where it's actually. And the podcast is great for that as well. It's a slavish sort of, I know what's going on in all of these, but the contrasting the actual scene as to the blooper, the outtake, because obviously there's a point in the scene in which you go, let's try a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I've told you this, and it's the highest compliment is that I love watching you break Charlie up. I mean, there's this scene, a classic blooper that I love is where you're learning about escape rooms. And you say, yes, I'm familiar. It's highly erotic. and then she says, no, it's not at all. Because, well, then you have not explained it well enough. And they just bust out laughing. And it kills me. It's so effing hilarious.
Yeah, it's usually, like a lot of the bloopers they're either a twist on the dialogue that it wasn't written that way, but it was interpreted that way in the moment by whoever it is. And then oftentimes it's also, I mean, the blooper you were just showing on that right there was where I come out of the bathroom and I'm saying, and somebody's, Caitlin says, you look like Superman. And it wasn't scripted for me to say, well, he was the original.
And Rob says, the original what?
Yeah. And it just kind of came out of me because I thought, like, what would be what would be Dennis's spin on why that's a good thing?
Right.
Right? Because he was the original superhero, so that's a good thing, right? Like, you know,
it's brilliant. And the one that also just slays me is and Danny, talking about Danny DeVito's incredible capacity and his experience. He doesn't break often.
No.
But the sequence where you're going through, Kate is in sort of that halo, Caitlin's in that sort of halo thing, and you're going through the trunk and you're pulling out. You say, this is my bondage stuff.
Oh,
and,
my tools.
My tools. I need my tools.
Yeah.
And you can see Danny's tucking away. He's laughing so hard because you're fervently trying to. Don't you understand? These are my tools. It's hilarious.
Well, so we shot that in Philly, right outside of St. Joe's Prep, and it was the last thing we shot. It was the very last scene we shot of season 7.
Oh.
So we had been drinking. We also didn't know if we were going to be picked up for another season beyond that. So we were like, wow, this could be. There was a lot of emotion actually when we were shooting this scene. So we were having a lot of fun, but I think it was also I think we were also just like, it was the end of the season. It was the end, and we didn't know if we were going to ever do it again. I mean, I remember right after we finished this, getting in the van and headed back to base camp, and again, getting quite emotional because I was like, wow, what if that was the last thing we ever shoot?
So the emotions are on high.
Yeah, the emotions were already on high. We'd had a couple beers in us, and and we were just having fun. Yeah,
I would think there's a particular joy to the way things are structured now, because think of all the shows that you loved, sitcoms that you loved from years ago, where you would have loved to have heard the cast sit down and dissect and talk about their experiences and get that peek behind. And you guys have been able to do that in a way that really super serves your fan base. And I hope that's not lost on you how important that is.
No, not at all. I think it's one thing. I think the thing that makes it extra special, in my opinion, and what I would like as a fan, is the fact that we're not just the actors on the show, but we created the show, right?
Yeah.
So it's all coming. It's all our brainchild, And I get the same satisfaction from watching the bloopers from the original Office, the British Office, or the bloopers from Extras, because I know that Ricky and Stephen Merchant wrote the show. So they're performing their own material, and that just adds another layer of funny to me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I want to ask you, speaking of funny, about two of your co-stars, not core on Sunny, but Jimmy Simpson and David Hornsby crack me up, and they are so incredibly talented outside of Sunny, but their roles on Sunny are messed up. And how do you know those guys? How do they end up on Sunny? And do you have any stories to share about either one of those guys?
Yeah. Okay. So Jimmy and Charlie have known Jimmy, Charlie, and David Hornsby have known each other for since probably the mid '90s. They all were at the Williamstown Theater Festival together, so they got to know each other there, and then they were all living in New York City. All of us were living in New York City, but I didn't know those guys at the time, and they were making a lot of home movies together. So one of the inspirations behind why we even started any of this to begin with was, and this was before they had editing programs. So they were literally editing in camera, which means they were shooting something and then they knew that the next thing needed to be this piece of coverage. So they would shoot it like
that's Roger Corman style. One to one. Yeah.
And so those guys made just a bunch of crazy short films. It was often Jimmy Simpson, David Hornsby, Charlie, Logan Marshall Green.
Oh yeah,
and Nate Mooney, and some other people would get thrown in the mix every once in a while. But those movies were so funny. Some of them are on Jimmy's. I think you can find some of them on YouTube.
Oh really?
Some of those old crappy movies that they made that are so weird. They're all so weird. So when I got to know Jimmy, though, he and Charlie were roommates in L.A. And so I got to know Jimmy through Charlie, and I got to know David through Charlie too.
Jimmy did this role on Letterman, this recurring thing where he was this intern who was this arrogant prick, and it slays me every time I watch old clips of Letterman, and he made Dave laugh, which is hard to do.
You know why? Because Jimmy is a real actor. Like he's, you know what I mean? So he commits to comedy in a way where it makes it so much funnier when you get this. It almost doesn't seem like a performance. You're like, I think people, including David, I think they were watching. They were like, that really who he is? You know what I mean?
This guy's a real prick.
Yeah, this guy's a real prick. But it was so funny that it couldn't be the real guy because that person couldn't really exist. And yet, Jimmy, there's no wink to the audience.
Right.
Even playing such a broad character, like his McPoyle character.
Yeah.
There's never a wink. I mean, he plays it's real. Even though it's insane and clearly not real. There can never be this person. You know what I mean?
He cracks you up in a...
He kills me.
Yeah, he cracks you up and you just die. I think is the line is start breaking bricks, wet nips.
Wet nips.
Yeah,
He also improvised. That was an improvised line.
And you just lose it, yeah.
Yeah, he does he adds a lot of that kind of stuff in to what we write, and it's great.
If you're just jumping in, we're talking to Glenn Howerton. He's going to be at the Always Sunny podcast live tomorrow, rain or shine, at the Man, by the way. Don McCloskey performing live, too, who just played the MM Barbecue, which we were stoked about. And Four Walls is presenting this whole thing, Four Walls Whiskey, which is Robin and Glenn and Charlie own. Is there any product placement that we'll see on It's Always Sunny with Four Walls? Is there a bottle in the bar? And
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I think you get a pass on that. It's your fictional bar. You certainly deserve the right to display your own liquor.
Yeah. But we don't want to be gross about it. I mean, look, the whole thing behind this, it's great that we're involved in this. The truth is, the people we're working with, the people we've partnered with, have done such a great job of helping us to create a whiskey and a design and a marketing plan where really what we wanted is it should stand on its own, right? This should work whether we were involved or not. That was the thing from the very beginning. I was like, I don't want this to be about us. It needs to be about, the whiskey and what it represents, right? Bringing people together, the four walls of the bar.
You wouldn't want to co-opt your fan base for and have them buy this without it actually being quality stuff, which makes sense.
I wanted to feel authentic, and I mean that was the reason why we've been approached in the past about doing something like this, and it just didn't feel right. This felt authentic. It felt like it represented what we represented as people and as a show. Cool. And so I don't know if we're gonna try to keep it subtle.
somewhere in there.
We did talk about it a lot.
Sure.
Here.
Oh, we would just keep talking about it.
At Patty's, are there any? I've never looked this up. If there are any little Easter eggs on set or anything that you or other cast members have placed somewhere just as a little nod to a friend or something along those lines. Anything interesting?
You know what? That's a good idea. I should do that before the show dies. I haven't done that. I do think, there have been a couple things like that, a couple pictures behind the bar of people that we've worked with. And, one of the extras that we had on the show was one of we call them, the barflies. He passed away. So there's a picture of him behind the bar. Cool. I think there's a picture of a bunch of a bunch of troops that I can't remember who. I think that's somebody from Rob's family. But yeah, not a ton of that stuff.
Yeah.
You said that's a good idea. How often, because people are fanatical about the show, they know everything inside and out. And so how often do people suggest plot lines?
Oh, plot lines?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter, or what do we call it? Is it X now?
X
what do we
now,
call
yeah.
it?
I keep calling it Twitter, yeah.
Okay.
I'm still saying MySpace.
So are we still tweeting or are we Xing?
I still say tweeting. Xing seems weird. It seems too adult filmish.
Right. Well, I don't spend a lot of time on there, but I used to like to go on Twitter to especially after we aired an episode, just to see kind of comments and stuff like that. And I'd like to read the feedback. I know you're not supposed to, but I actually like that stuff. And over the past, there've been lots of hey, you should do an episode about this, or you should do an episode about this, and it sometimes, most of the time, it's not great.
Because I have one for you.
But
you always have one.
Yes. Would you ever use a suggestion?
You run a risk.
Don't
you run a risk of being sued? This is something that I was told years ago when I'd submit around writing samples or so on and so forth. And eventually
I think
you
it
realize,
was Knight that talked to us about it.
They won't. If they open them, it may have been Rob. You're opening up that potential for litigation because they'll come after you and sue you anyway, regardless. They do it all the time. There are people who are just, I had this idea. It's a scam, and some people believe they had it or they saw it and thought they had the idea first, and you just don't play in that, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've usually got records of this kind of thing, but you know, and I've got records on my phone of like the ideas that I've had that have been nuggets of ideas, and whether we've used them or not. And you know, we've got all kinds of evidence to suggest. A lot of times, where it gets tricky really is when somebody comes at you with an idea and you're like, oh, we already had that idea.
Yeah,
We've been talking about that already because it's something that's in the news or whatever.
Right.
You know, yeah, it's tricky. I mean, I usually, if somebody's getting into like a detailed thing, I don't really read any of the suggestions anymore. But even when I did, if it started to get real detailed, I'd be like, no, I don't want to. You know,
It can be a problem.
It can be a problem. Yeah.
Maybe you could work something out, Casey, where your idea.
It's gonna be. He's gonna love it, and he's gonna go. Oh my
well,
god!
if it's a good idea, we'll just give you a story by credit, and then
I don't
problem
need anyone.
solved.
I don't even need.
He just
that.
wants a spin-off
I
series.
don't even need that. I just want to be able to say to my friends, like, dude, that was my idea.
You're going to give him the idea on the air? Or
No.
Are you gonna...
Don't give it on the air.
No. Privately.
You remember what happened with the electric car? You blurted that out on the air, and now look
at that.
Remember?
Did your buddy Prince Harry float you any ideas? We saw that you hung out with him.
Yeah, I mean, hung out with him is a bit of an exaggeration, but I think he's a Wrexham fan. So he came up to us because I don't think he knew who I was. I think he really only knew who Rob was, and then he was like, "Let's get a picture," and I was like, "I'll get in that."
Oh man,
that is kind of weird because obviously you have a lot of people that you meet and so on and so forth, and sometimes you're not. The last thing in the world you want to do is be rude, but you just don't remember someone, or and it's the kind of thing I'm sure you have to slalom a fair amount when you're encountering people. I'm very good with faces. I'm horrible with names myself, so I'm pretty good with that. But I mean, juggling, so I'm sure when you're besieged by as he. It's hard to keep track of who all is in the room.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I didn't know if he knew who I was or if he just thought like I was Rob's handler. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It was it's fascinating. We talked about it after it happened because of the Messi effect, right? And so the game that you guys the match we went to see, Messi was playing in L.A. and Will Ferrell was there because he owns that club. I think they're actually playing the Union tomorrow night.
Are they?
Yeah, LAFC. And when Casey got to see Messi when they played in Philly, when Miami played in Philly a month or so ago, it must have been cool because we were talking about how many celebrities were at that match just because Messi was playing.
100%. It was the most bizarre experience. Like I've never seen anything like this. So there were a lot of Miami fans for sure, but it was jam-packed with LAFC fans. And so everybody was cheering for LAFC. And Messi.
Right. Yeah.
So not Miami.
Yeah.
But so Miami, boo. And then Messi would get the ball and everyone was like, yeah. So you've got literally fans of the opposing team cheering on Messi because everybody's like, well, I want LAFC to win, but I also want Messi to score.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I want to see him score.
Yeah, I want to see him score. Yeah.
What a phenomenon.
But I've been watching Messi for years and I'm a soccer fan. But my 12-year-old son who I brought to the match, is a massive soccer fan. So that was the most exciting thing.
Glenn, my 12-year-old also went. My brother took him. They're huge fans. And when he came back, I was like, how was it? He's like, he was all right. He's like, I don't really see the big deal. I'm like,
wow.
Is this really happening?
That is your son.
But you know what? But you know what? This is what if you're a real fan and you really watched him on the pitch, you could see how generous he is as a player. He's not trying to be like you know what I mean? He was passing the ball. He had a couple. I think 2 of their goals were Messi assists in that match.
Yeah, my brother said he could have just destroyed them all.
He also scored from 40 yards out. Yeah. I mean, at one point, So no, he was definitely. He was there.
He's like Gretzky. He sees the play before the play happens, and he knows where to pass it where somebody's going to be eventually. And it's just he's a generational talent, maybe the greatest player of all time. And to watch him see what's going to happen before it happens is truly mesmerizing.
Yeah, he's so smart out there, and he knows how to conserve his energy. I was watching him a lot, just watching his body language. He is a master of the game. I mean, it's just incredible.
Kathy, maybe your son is going to become a sportscaster that just does not hold back.
Doesn't give a rat's ass.
He'll make his own.
Is it safe to say there'll be a master level exhibition tomorrow evening, Preston?
I believe so. I believe so. So tomorrow night, obviously, at the Man is when the Always Sunny in Podcast Live is happening. So not only Glenn, but Rob and Charlie there, and producer Megan Gans.
Yes.
And you guys are all talking about specific episodes, stories from that, what you remember. It's
The Messies of Comedy.
The
Messies of Comedy.
Of comedy.
I love that. That should be the
night.
official tour name.
And brought to you by the Messy of Whiskeys as well. And you can get pretty damn messy on this if you want to.
And then Glenn's going to be back in town next month at Valley Forge Casino. Yeah.
You're doing that event at Valley Forge.
Yes.
Excellent. So maybe we'll see you then again. We'll see.
You guys going to be there?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I will now. I guess so.
Or if you're not, you're saying maybe I could come back here and talk again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
If you're free.
Pitch the hell out of the booze.
You know what?
Talk to my team. You know?
All right.
Next time, better coffee.
Yes, that we promise. We'll monitor it.
Promise?
We'll monitor.
I don't think he
know.
believes that.
You guys have had 25 years to figure this out. Pretty crazy.
It's pretty bad.
All right, tomorrow night, the Always Sunny Podcast Live, brought to you by Four Walls. Thank you very much, Glenn. Great to see you.
So great to see you guys.
Glenn Howerton. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. Kelly Ripa will be on when we return, so stay with us, friends.
See, not wake her, though. I would take an educated guess and try and bring something home.
Yes, of course.
I did not do that, and I made a mistake.
Wow.
The educated guess with the purchase will buy you the insurance
least
you
you
need.
tried.
Yeah, you tried, yeah.
You didn't even try. Sorry, Marissa.
No, I'm going to throw out this option. Just buy multiple very small ones, even if it's just two. Say I tried to take a guess, and then if one of those happens to be your favorite flavor, Casey, then you win in the end because you get to enjoy it as well.
And also, what the
my
gesture.
My story is much more selfish. The Big Top Surfing Sundays came by our house.
Oh yeah.
And Rochelle was taking a nap, and I'm like, I'll just zip out and get a thing, and she'll be asleep, and
She'll never know.
She'll never know. And by the way, ice cream, I don't think keeps as well.
Right. I
in a
was just gonna
freezer
say, yes.
as water ice might. So then maybe
Water
that's
ice
a little
definitely does
caveat.
not keep as well in the freezer. Not my
Well,
freezer.
you're right. If it stays in there too long, it's I don't like that frozen solid. Yeah,
It
I'm
becomes
not down
like
with
an
that.
ice cube.
Yes.
But in my mind, I was like, she'll never know. She'll never know. And then she knew. And then
And what happened?
She gave me the hard time. She's like, you went without me?
My freaking daughter dined me out, man. I was like, oh, dude. Yeah.
I do feel like that, like,
The bond of trust has been broken.
Right? And I paid
I'm watching you.
Yeah.
because you know why? Because she probably understood. No, she understood because, and I hate to be like that person, but like a lot of guys are the same when it comes to things like this. Like it's just common sense. Like, why would you have not picked your wife up something, even if it went in the freezer, even if it became a block of ice? She would have been like, "Oh, okay, well, he helped me out. It's not great, and I'll go get my own tomorrow or something like that." But like,
no, you're right. You're absolutely right. And my house is filled with people. And, I probably should have asked my mom if she wanted something, and I didn't. Me
Why
and
don't
Avery
you just tell me?
me and Avery just snuck out. And
oh my God.
I did ask my older daughter. Casey said no, she didn't want anything.
She was like,
She's
"No,
the
I'll
one
just
who
tell
dined you
mom."
out.
Yeah.
Hey, every now and then it's okay to do something for just you. All right, I'm gonna back you on this because I was thinking the same thing, man. If I got Rochelle, then I got to ask the kids, and then it's a whole big thing.
I don't
and
have that.
then I got to wait for these guys to all get their shoes on and come outside and get it. And by the time we get out there, it's gonna be a huge line.
Yes.
I could just zip in and zip right back out and get my little cone and eat it, and I'm a happy man.
May I suggest something though?
You probably shouldn't have had kids.
Right. the kids you can take off the list, but not the wife. You know what I'm saying?
No, you cannot take your kids off. Like, if you
Absolutely.
are going out to
You're
get
trying
ice
to
cream,
teach them
a thing that a child would
Don't
love.
eat that food. Eat vegetables.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go get ice cream, but you're gonna stay home, and I'm not gonna get any for you.
Well,
Exactly.
I got the double middle finger last night. Okay.
That's pretty harsh.
Well, I mean, she's
Jokingly.
jokingly, but
right.
still there was intent, and so what I'm saying is,
Were your lips discolored from the Rita's water ice?
No,
Yeah, you got busted?
What are you talking about?
dude, I
Sitting there
went.
with-
Why are your lips blue?
I went with like flesh colored. I was like,
You got
she'll
lemon?
never know. I got lemon.
Do you have any flesh-colored ices?
By the way, my new favorite flavor is they have a Florida orange. They didn't have Florida orange last night, but they did have an orange cream. So I went lemon on top, orange cream on the bottom.
You thought about that? You thought about your mouth being discolored?
No, it's just my favorite flavor. The lemon is
that would be the best. So he's got these big, bright purple lips.
What are you talking about? No, I'm just really cold.
No, I just missed Prince.
Listen, if you're going to give me the double middle finger, then you have to make sure that you every time you get something somewhere, you either text me or surprise me with something, and that is never the case.
So I could have gotten the sundae that she likes, but I got the ribbon soft chocolate and vanilla ice cream, and I also. You do things to buy yourself a little insurance.
Yeah.
I got her a quart of it so that she could.
I failed.
Yeah.
I failed. I definitely failed. Okay, I failed. What's your flavor? What's your favorite flavor? I don't know what your favorite flavor is.
Did she ever tell you?
No, let's see if she.
You need to know now for your.
This is actively happening right now.
Yeah, it's
okay. He's
all right.
checking his text messages.
Yeah, it does not indicate. Now, what would I?
Do you guys all know Do you know your roster of favorite menu items for your significant other?
I mean, give me a store and I'll tell you.
When it comes to
I know something that I could get that she'd like.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
know,
Yeah,
maybe not her favorite, but yeah.
Right.
Like
What were you
if
gonna say?
No, just when it comes to desserts, I know my business. You know,
Okay,
like,
yeah, likewise.
that's important. And if I were to swing by an ice cream store and not get her something or a Rita's or whatever, I would know what to get. Yeah, like if I'm ordering takeout, it's more of a guessing game.
I'm actually my ability to call an audible is quite sensational.
On desserts,
And
or
now, mind you, I'm not dealing with kids. I'm dealing with one person I can focus in on.
yeah.
So with everything, however, we'll do this thing, and I'll be going out to get milk from the Wawa. So you want anything, and she'll look at me and she'll do this thing we do. She'll go, why don't you surprise me?
Oh,
and I always nail it.
Steve, I could get you dessert.
Yes, you know.
You know what I mean? Like, if Steve was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take dessert," like I would know what to get him.
Right.
Chocolate chip cookie.
Chocolate chip cookies, brownies, dark
Chocolate ice
dark
cream.
chocolate.
Yes,
No
there you go.
whipped cream.
No whipped cream.
You can get me anything. I'll eat it.
Yeah, you're more of because you like to try stuff.
I like the sample.
But your favorite recent is the
pistachio is my favorite.
That's now at
flavor
the top
ice
of the
cream.
list.
Yeah.
In fact, I bought some pistachio gelati.
Yeah.
Gelato, I guess I should say. Last night.
Dessert-wise, you know what's become a little bit overrated is that chocolate lava cake.
Oh, but it's so
Has
good.
become
Why is it overrated?
I was just talking to my wife. I said, is there any situation in which chocolate lava cake is not applicable?
You seen the movie Chef?
Yeah.
When he wigs out on the chocolate lava cake.
What is it? What's he say? Because it's in the middle.
It's a chocolate ganache.
It's
frozen.
Yeah.
It's frozen, and you cook it, and that's how it becomes molten in the middle. He's just this critic doesn't understand how it's made, and he's just wigging out, and he's like, "There's more to it than you think." But yeah, chocolate lava.
A lot of places won't let you do takeout chocolate
lava cake
because it's not going to port well.
Yeah. Right. I can't turn away a bread pudding if I'm out to dinner and that is on the dessert menu. I have to.
So the Desmond has, it's one Philly's best for their bread pudding, and it is sensational. I know a little bit of the secret of their bread pudding.
Oh,
hot dog rolls.
Hot dog rolls. You know what else? Those Hawaiian rolls.
Yes,
King's Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
Those ones are really good.
Yep.
And the best dessert I've had in the last couple of years is actually they have
any dessert you don't have to get for your wife.
That one.
All right, I have an actual Kardashian roundup.
Oh, all right.
Wow, I got like 3 Kardashian stories here. So.
Think of it as one group flush.
Okay, Kardashian roundup. Here we go.
All right, we're going to round them up for you.
I'm Robert Mitchum, and this is Kardashian Roundup.
Kim shared an amazing throwback video featuring her, Khloe, and Kourtney auditioning for Star Search.
Oh, it was amazing.
Did you see it?
I did.
I've not seen it.
Okay, for what, spokesmodel?
They lip-synced Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now while wearing matching metallic outfits chosen by Kris Jenner.
Not much has changed because they're still pretending to have talent.
And they were little kids when they did this.
Okay.
She wrote on Instagram, our Star Search audition. Clearly, we didn't get 4 stars, but Kris Jenner did for our outfits. The family matriarch commented on the post and wrote, "Those were the days when I got to dress you guys. I knew I should have been a stylist."
I thought, seeing this video that we're watching, I thought that was Ed McMahon, but it was Khloe.
Speaking of Chloe, she celebrated hitting a social media milestone yesterday, or on Wednesday. She added a photo of herself topless.
What?
In honor of her 178 million Instagram followers.
Okay.
Is that a milestone? 178 million?
No, it's just a reason to drop your top.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right. That was just the excuse for the photo.
It's kind of an arbitrary number, isn't it?
It's not topless.
Yeah, in the photo, well, her hair is covering
It
her
is
boobs.
topless.
She's not wearing a top, but her top is covered.
Yeah.
I think is what Casey
She is sans top.
With
She is
fake
topless,
hair.
but
And
her boobs aren't out.
It's covered with fake hair.
Man, I'm looking at these pictures. They just don't look real.
It's so
don't look real.
And I do not find this look, this cosmetic surgery look, in any way attractive.
Yeah.
I think there are a group of people. WMMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, we'll get a couple of stories for you here. We're going to start with this. Steve, you sent me this one. Experts have warned of a slow-mo Chernobyl disaster forming in icy waters north of Russia as dozens of nuclear submarines rot deep below the surface. In the Kara and Barents Sea, thousands of tons of nuclear waste equivalent to 6.5 Hiroshimas lie in a frigid underwater graveyard, slowly leaking radiation. The waste has been pumping out radioactivity, which could infect seafood and contaminate oil fields, making the region a ticking time bomb. Over 17,000 objects are scattered on the seabed with 18 nuclear reactors and sunken nuclear submarines.
Is that not terrifying?
The waste from one submarine, the Kosmomolets, is 1 million times higher than the safe limit. And some of the nuclear waste lies at a depth of only 98 feet, putting the Russian-produced radiation even closer to human beings.
They just caught an 11-foot minnow, Preston.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's some upsides to it, I guess. By the way, one submarine, the K-159, lies with its fulled and unsealed reactors open to the elements spreading nuclear radioactivity.
So there's
through
no
the
protective shell around the reactor as it's rotting underwater.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Have a nice day. The family of a North Carolina man who died after driving his car off a collapsed bridge while following Google Maps directions is suing the technology giant for negligence, claiming that it had been informed of the collapse but failed to update its navigation system.
I think we've all had near misses like that.
So Philip Paxson drowned after his Jeep Gladiator plunged into Snow Creek. Paxson was driving home from his daughter's 9th birthday party through an unfamiliar neighborhood when Google Maps allegedly directed him to cross a bridge that had collapsed 9 years prior and was never
9
repaired.
years.
So they've had plenty of time to fix the map thing. State troopers who found Paxton's body in his overturned and partially submerged truck have said that there were no barriers or warning signs along the washed out roadway. He had driven off an unguarded edge and crashed about 20 feet below.
I wonder if there's anything that in the usage terms for the service that absolves the company of that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. That's a good question, but that's pretty blatant.
That
9
is pretty-
years.
yeah.
Travelers were shocked to see a man strolling naked at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport and caught the bear passenger on camera wandering the busy terminal. In a statement, the airport said that the airport's Department of Public Safety responded to the nude man walking inside Terminal C at about 10:15 p.m.
Is there a Cinnabon around here?
In the video, the adult man is seen sauntering through the airport by a restaurant, and the man in the video says, there's a naked guy in the airport. And upon hearing the videographer's comments, the man in the nude points at him, prompting the videographer to cheer, and he goes, yeah, there he is, my man. He was taken into custody and has taken a look at a mental health evaluation.
Listen, he's one of your safest bets if he's boarding a flight, right? There's nothing on him.
You're right. Security-wise.
Yeah, go right through.
You don't have to worry about him. Police did not share if the unclothed man was charged. And then finally, we'll do one more story and wrap it up. A woman recently wrote a brutally honest obituary about her father and wants to thank the people who cared for him during his last days. Amanda Dennis of Ontario said her dad died at the age of 74, and it starts with, I am pleased to announce the passing of my father.
Oh my gosh.
After suffering multiple strokes, one thankfully leaving him unable to speak,
Oh my
the
gosh.
abusive, narcissistic, absentee father, husband, brother, son finally kicked the bucket. And she also wrote, because he treated people with disdain, there will be no service. Dennis tried to post the obituary on the funeral home website where her father was cremated, but it was removed. She said, not all parents are good, and that's okay. And it's okay to talk about. My father was absent. He was abusive. He was narcissistic. This is the truth.
Apparently, a lot of people agreed.
Yeah, this is the way he was. This is my family's truth, and I'm not going to change that because somebody won't post it.
His favorite thing to do was to walk through the airport naked.
In the obituary, she also wanted to make sure that the staff who were dealing with her father were thanked. She said, special thank yous to the staff at the Princeton Regional Hospital for putting up with this miserable human for so long. Oh, my God. The residents and staff at Sunshine Ridge for their support towards his family at this time. Dennis says she's very appreciative of their work and what they had to deal with. So they didn't have the ability to walk away, she said, or cut themselves away at all. Another family member, Bonnie Kendulski, says the deceased is her husband's half-brother and agrees with the obituary.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's gone.
I told you guys this not that long ago. I had a friend who passed away. Now, his wasn't negative in nature. It was still a positive obituary. But the way it was written was like he was a real ball buster.
Oh,
like
wow.
it was very casual and told it how it was, but it was still positive.
It's happened a couple. Well, yeah, that ends up being positive. This person was, by all measures, reprehensible.
And she says, in lieu of flowers, Dennis is asking for people to be kind to one another.
Piss on his grave.
All right, Casey, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we break and come? No, we can't.
No, but we have to do, okay. Well, we kind of have to wait to do the Crumb Bomb solicit. So
What I was going to do is play our commercials, come back, then do the Crumb Bomb. I'm sorry I have to talk about this on the air, but I have to get out of here by 10:15 and then talk to our guest. Is that possible to do that? Or
He's checking right now.
Okay, Marissa's.
Yeah, let's
All right, we're going to do that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and as close to 8 as we can get it, or 10. Sorry about that. We're going to do the Crumb Bomb Cash.
Yes.
And then Kelly Ripa is scheduled to be on with us. So sorry, but I got to get out of here.
You've got to go do an event.
I do. So we'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us, please.
Yes.
And I think it's people who all get plastic surgery and I guess understand it or understand why she wants to get it.
Yeah, body dysmorphia group.
Whatever that commercial is, Steve, that we see on TV with her in it, like she looks like she can't even really move.
Eating popcorn.
You what?
I'm here with my daughter eating popcorn.
You're here with your daughter eating popcorn.
Yeah. And like it just looks so awkward. Like she's like hugging and playing with her daughter, but it's like her face.
Don't touch the face!
Yeah, her face doesn't move.
Don't touch the face!
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Wait, excuse me, Chloe. You got a little schmutz here on
Don't touch! Don't touch! Let it fall off. Let it dry up and fall off.
Don't touch. Don't touch. It might cave in.
Don't touch! Don't touch! Close the windows.
Close the window.
Mommy, you got a little something on your lip.
No! No! What did I tell you? I said don't touch mommy's face. Don't touch mommy's face. Don't touch mommy's face.
In the photo, Chloe is.
Don't even look at mommy's face. I don't know, the eye beams or something. I don't know.
Eye beams?
I don't know. Maybe there's radiation. I don't know. I'm not willing to take the risk.
I want to remind you that our Love You Help You line is available for your convenience should you be looking to, if you're looking to get a little boost to a business. It's something we've still, we're continuing, even though things have gotten a little bit more back to normal. But they're going back as well, you know.
There's a big conundrum out there, and if I can take this opportunity, Preston, just to give you an idea of what we're looking for, what people are looking for, our friend JP, who used to own the Ugly Moose in Manioc, now owns a place called the Bagataway Tavern in Conshohocken. Listen to what he's looking for. He needs a GM, kitchen manager, servers, bartenders, barbacks, experienced chefs. He's a great guy, great boss, and all those positions are available, and he needs help. He said he's finding it hard, to keep things running. Right. And that's the issue. So if you're looking for work, time has never been better. He actually says you can call him on his phone, his actual phone, which is 484-988-0942. The great place in Conshohocken. But again, if you have a business and you're looking for assistance, anything to help you get up and running. As you said, President, it's eased up a little bit, and hopefully we keep going in a good direction. But man, it's wanted signs all over the place.
Wait, did he buy that from the owners, or was he always the
He was
owner
always
of
a
that?
co-owner. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. So he's always been associated with that. The Ugly Moose sadly no longer exists.
Yeah, that was a great
It was
place.
great.
I
We
loved it there.
That was a cool place.
Yeah.
Let's try and forget about the moose for a moment.
Forget about the moose.
We need.
Why don't you forget the moose?
Ugly Moose! Ugly Moose!
I really enjoy the intro to the Moose clip.
All the mooses are waiting for you.
Hey, which button was that?
It was pink then green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you forget the moose?
That's
for a moment. Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
We need that needs to be a set clip.
That's great.
Yep, we'll have to do that.
Man, this is one of the best shows we've ever had.
Isn't it though? A moose charged a runner.
Again!
Kid you not.
Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
A moose charged a runner and left him with a hoof print shaped cut on the back of his head.
Oh, that's awful.
Colorado officials
That's just
said.
something to remember me by.
Yeah. The New Mexico man was running on a trail with his two dogs Wednesday when they encountered a moose.
Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
The runner was on a trail. The dogs were off leash about 50 feet in front of the man during the run. They suddenly bolted back toward the man. He stopped and saw the bull moose at about 50 feet. At that point, the dogs ran past him and left the scene. Yeah, they're out, dude.
Yeah.
They're checking out.
You had a story, was it earlier this week or last week, about a woman being, like, stomped?
Yep, exactly. The man took 2 steps towards the moose to see it better, and that caused it to charge towards the man.
Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
The moose attacked the runner, giving him minor injuries, and he was taken to the hospital and released the same day. The sheriff said he was very lucky that his only injury is a hoof print-shaped laceration on the back of his head.
You bet your ass.
Moose attacks in Colorado are increasing. They are protective animals and will defend their territory and young. Now, I had a moose question earlier this morning, trivia question for the Super Question, and did not know that they're solitary, so they do not have herds of moose.
That's why a lot of them are riders.
They live. All right, dear friends. Oh, it's perfect. This time's out perfect. It's 10:01 a.m., which means, yeah, we have your chance to win money. We're going to do that now, and then immediately after that, we have a guest on the line who we're very excited to talk to. So let's do this money thing.
93.3 WMMR, Philadelphia.
You're a real crumb bum.
It's time for a Crumb Bum Cash keyword.
Very simple. The word is luxury. Luxury. We'll give you until 15 minutes after the hour to enter it. There are 3 ways to do it. You can enter it at WMMR.com or through the MMR app, or you can text it to the special contest short code number, which is 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in our company-wide contest, and each winner gets a call from Beasley, so make sure that you do answer your phone. Contest rules available at WMMR.com. Sponsored by Horizon Services, by the way. All right, the word again is luxury. Luxury. Come and get it. All right, our guest is on the line, ready to talk to her. Talked to her many times throughout the years.
She's awesome.
Always wonderful to chat, especially her history in this area.
Yes.
And all of that. But her book is now available on paperback.
It was a huge hit as a hardcover.
It is called Live Wire, Long-Winded Short Stories. Please welcome Kelly Ripa to the show. Hi, Kelly.
Thank you so much. It feels so good to be home.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, speaking of being from around this area, I want to get this out of the way right now. I think 3 years ago, my wife and I purchased a shore house that one of your family members owned. It's in Wildwood Crest.
Oh, I wonder. Maybe, my Aunt, was it my Aunt Pauline?
See, I don't know.
You don't know
He's
the
trying
name?
to find out who it is.
People have just told us, oh, that's the Ripa house. So it was her cousin or her uncle or
Her aunt.
I don't. I've heard a few different
It's my
stories.
Aunt Pauline. I think, Yeah, maybe my Aunt Pauline, I think she had a house in Wildwood Crest.
Okay.
There you go. He was just wondering if it was just sort of a sales tactic to get him to purchase the house.
Well, the realtor didn't tell us that, but some of the neighbors around there have. So.
What a big sales tactic.
Oh, my goodness. Well, listen, the book is moved to paperback now, which is always a pretty awesome thing. And, it was on the New York Times bestseller. So do they have a paperback bestseller as well?
Yes, they do.
All right. Then we got to.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, I had no idea.
Yes, so they'll give you the breakdown of whether it's selling in hardcover or paperback or that whole deal. But sometimes, let me ask you if this is the case with this. Sometimes you will add additional material to a paperback version. Is it the same? Is it the same version that we would find in hardcover?
It is the same version in hardcover, but I will say this. What I like about there is a bit of an addendum. There's the back cover, where I explain to you what exactly this book is, and I sort of made it like a commercial, like an infomercial.
Okay.
Which I for me, I write to amuse myself, and then I hope other people are also amused. So I wrote it as it's an infomercial, as if copies are flying off the shelf. Act now. It's a commemorative copy. It's only available for a limited time. But what I like about the paperback version of the book is its size and scale and transportability.
Yes.
Whereas, hard copy books are very hard to travel with. They're hard to take on a trip. They're hard.
Yeah.
This is a nice, soft, floppy little book, and I find it charming.
Yeah, the hardcover's for you're there with your pipe and you're reading it in the conservatory. the paperback is for the beach, or no, maybe the beach, not now, but just portable where you're moving around. I wanted to ask you, since you have this book and it's a collection, and all the critics are saying it, a great collection of stories that are easily consumable, but now there's another chapter of your life. You now working with your husband Mark on the show, and there seems to be no signs of abating. Are you just simply laying ground for a second book, or is that something you would even consider down the road?
It's so funny. So you start hosting a talk show with your husband, and suddenly every publisher is like, "We have a great idea, a book about the two of you being married and how you're married, and a marital book." And I said, "That sounds like a recipe for divorce."
What I really appreciate about you guys is your openness into your personal lives, and we do that here on our radio program as well. And it took me years to be able to be comfortable to open up about all the warts and all of that stuff. Did that come easy to you, Kelly, or did it take some time to develop the thick skin, or maybe just not even care attitude about this is my life?
No, I've got to tell you that I marvel at Mark, because it took him about 3 weeks to get to where it took me 8 to 10 years to get. Comfortability, like where I was so insecure and so worried all the time about, what people might think, or if I say this, will it be poorly received? And Mark just dives head in, and he does not. It's not that he doesn't care. It's that he is willing to put it all out there and take his lumps. He doesn't mind it at all. And I don't know if that's a man-woman thing. I don't know if that's because we've been married for 28 years thing. I don't know. But he really is super, super comfortable in his own skin in a way that I've only recently gotten to be comfortable.
It's pretty wild. I tell you, there's every reason in the world for me to hate your husband, because he's incredibly good looking and very talented, and all of those things that are all there. And I think he's fantastic. I loved him on Riverdale, and he just seems to be a great guy. And obviously, you guys are great together.
He is.
Does he have any? I mean, has he considered the notion of a take on his life? Has seeing the success of your book perhaps lit a match for him to perhaps explore a little biography of his own experiences?
It's interesting interesting. I would have to ask him that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I made the process. He went through it. Luckily for him, he was shooting Riverdale when I was writing this book, and he was living in Vancouver. But I tortured him nonetheless. I tortured him constantly, sending him revised edits of chapters that I had written and rewritten, and I think I made it look pretty unpleasant. However, he is a great writer. I mean, he went to college. He's got a business degree, believe it or not. And so he really, I think he could write an amazing book. Will he? I have no idea. We've never actually discussed it.
Well, we'll wait for it if it does come out. I have to ask you just a quick funny thing. And there was a picture that I think the Daily Mail had it. It was you coming out of the gym, and they were saying, here's Kelly without her makeup. I don't know if they're trying to sort of make hay or whatever, but you look fantastic. And it almost seemed in the article itself, they were sort of depressed that you actually looked, pretty damn good, regardless. And you could almost sense it in the tone of the article, like we had hoped to get this monster walking out of the gym, but it's pretty much Kelly Ripa.
To be clear, I am an absolute monster. And every time I can take my makeup off and walk past our audience, who they tend to linger in the lobby, and they've got a kiosk that sells merch for our show. I wash my face as soon as the show is done, and I walk right past them, and they have no idea. That is a superpower.
That's a superpower, for sure.
Visibility.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's excellent. Well, with this, Kelly, with the book now transferring over to paperback, what's next for you outside of the television realm? Is there anything that you're working on?
Yeah, I'm always working on everything. I mean, we run a production company, so we have a lot of unscripted series. Of course, everything scripted is on hold right now.
Yes.
Due to the writer's strike and the actor's strike. So right now, we're just focusing all of our efforts on the unscripted TV faction of our production company, and that's all we can do. And we stand with our writers and actors, and we just hope that this comes to a quick and speedy resolve. It's been 5 months, and I know a lot of people are out of work and hurting, and it's really unfair. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for all of the progress that they're making in the talks right now.
Yeah, we had read a story that hopefully there was going to be information today, but I have not seen anything, and I don't know what you've heard if they're hopefully going to be resolving this by the end of the year. But I did read that if they don't do it soon, it's probably going to be after the first of the year.
I'm hopeful. I'm a naturally hopeful person, so I'm hopeful that the people involved in the negotiations will really come to some sort of, I always say a good bargain, a good deal is when everybody is mildly disappointed.
Yeah.
So, so let's try to come to some sort of agreement where everybody can tolerate the agreement, because everybody thinks about, just the actors and the writers, but there are so many people out of business the longer this strike goes on. It's more than people realize. There's whole departments that are put out of business.
There's a lot of collateral damage.
It's a huge industry, most definitely. All right, well, Kelly, we will point people in the direction of their nearest bookstore or newsstand to pick up Livewire, long-winded short stories now available on paperback. It's always great to talk to you. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Great to talk to you guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. Kelly Ripa, guys. Yep. So, with that, we are now going to ask you a lesson question. We're going to see if you do indeed know something about today's program. So the lesson question today, the prize, by the way, VIP 4-pack of tickets to the Lincoln Mill Haunted House tomorrow in Manayunk. And the question I think I'm going to go with here is, what is the name of David Coverdale's deli? It's so stupid. What is the name of David Coverdale's deli? It's his birthday today, by the way. All right, 215-263-WMMR. Call now.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, let's get our stories this morning. Steve, what's going on?
All right, well, The Rock reportedly raised... let me get to the beginning of that story. The Rock stunned a packed crowd at the WWE SmackDown in Denver last week, entering the ring after more than 4 years away. The Rock reportedly raised his hand to his mouth and yelled, "Can you smell what The Rock has reheated now that Black Adam bombed?"
Oh, my God.
Hey.
Wow.
Golf superstar Phil Mickelson, and Preston, you were backing this up, admitting to his years-long gambling problem, said Mickelson, quote, "I knew it had gotten away from me when I placed a bet on what the gist of this quote would be."
Oh, my God.
So that's bad. And finally, Ryan Seacrest is working hard to get ready for his debut as the next host of the Wheel of Fortune. Seacrest says he's been getting up every day at 5 just so he can have an hour before dinner. And that's
All right, thank you. All right, so let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to see if somebody knows the answer to this question. What is the name of David Coverdale's Deli? 215-263 WMMR. That was from like 6:35 this morning. We'll go to Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Good morning.
Gadzooks, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, buddy. All right, Andrew, what is the name of David Coverdale's Deli?
Coverdale's.
Coverdale's, yeah. Of course. I love it. Hang on, Andrew. We're going to give you a VIP 4-pack of tickets for the Lincoln Mill Haunted House this Saturday, September 23rd, located at 4100 Main Street in Manioc. Features over 50 live scare actors, production quality sets, props, animatronics, and special effects. Tickets and info at LincolnMillHaunt.com, by the way. All right, so this just in.
What are we doing?
We're going to wrap up the show now?
Doing it right now.
Casey says we can wrap up the show now.
Is there, you ever think you've never asked to do this, and we, and I think people will understand.
Yeah, I want to get out early.
There is a very sick child in a hospital that person who made a promise to visit, and on the way he's going to play golf.
On the way to the hospital?
That's what it is. Yeah. He's just gonna stop. Right.
No, I'm playing in a 2-day golf tournament, and this is one that I'm actually already missing part of it as we speak. So it's a friend of mine, and it's a really cool event, and I want to leave a few minutes early.
You committed to it. You don't want to screw them up.
We normally wrap up about 15-20 minutes from now.
Yeah.
And so I want to get over there as soon as possible.
Oh, my God.
I need you to stop talking and listen to me.
I'm okay. I got it. So that means I just everybody needs to know we're going to do the letter. We're going to wrap up the program
do it,
now.
yes.
By the way, Pierre is now putting his foot through the.
I was wondering.
Are
if
you
anybody
goddamn kidding me?
I'm sure he's pissed.
alerted him?
But I apologize, Pierre. So anyhow, we're going to do the letter of the day now.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, and the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter.
Oh, as in no range.
All right, so we'll take caller number 5 at 215-263 WMMR, and we will see. We won't do anything.
We will do, and we will see.
We will do what the word of the week is. No, we will see what
we do.
We get in the calls when we do that. When we do that,
Oh, my God. What's going on
that
here?
we
Answer
do
the
so
phone.
well, and the phone and thing.
All that stuff.
I love when people can. Actors, when they can do that prattle on thing. I don't do it on purpose. I do it by accident. But it is entertaining when it's done properly. All right, well, I would like to thank first and foremost Mr. Glenn Howerton for being on a program. Four Walls Whiskey presents their event. We are also welcoming. We're a welcoming sponsor for the Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast, which is tomorrow at the Man. Now, the statement says rain or shine.
It's happening.
So even if there's rain in the forecast and we do get downpours, it's kind of iffy as to when that stuff is going to hit, but they are planning on doing it tomorrow night.
Bring some, rain gear with you, and they're going through with it.
Yep. And we just had her on, Kelly Ripa. She was great. Always wonderful to talk to her. Get her new book on paperback. All right. We will go to the phones, get a winner. Caller number 5. I have John on the line. Hey, John.
Hey, you guys rock!
Thank you, brother. All right.
Rock and roll.
John, what's our word of the week?
It's macro.
That's correct.
Yes!
Macro. And So, dude, you're set up for tomorrow night. We're going to give you a 4-pack of great seats, VIP parking as well, and VIP club access to the Always Sunny
I am
podcast.
a very important person today.
That you are. All right, buddy. Congratulations to you, John. Have a good time tomorrow night, okay?
Thank you so much. You
got
guys rock.
Hang on, bud. We appreciate that. And don't forget, more of Crumb Bum Cash is coming up, so you could be a winner like John of $1,000. He won these great tickets, but you can win $1,000 still. I do want to remind you about the Always Sunny podcast. There are some tickets that are still available via Ticketmaster.
Get 'em now.
Yep. I want to thank our sponsors, the Preston and Steve Show, brought to you today by Duncan, and the Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan. Also brought to you by Trinity Rehab, with locations all over and now open in King of Prussia. Trinity-rehab.com. So when we get back next week, we got some really cool things lined up for you. We're going to have our buddy David Wissikinen of the Hooters. There's a documentary he's going to be talking about. Peter Faccinelli. Jake Tapper. We will have fall activities. The new theme song and everything. And a special guest next week. Bill Weston will be on the program.
Yes, Bill Weston will be a special guest.
Something very important to talk about. All right, so that is it. We are done. Rage on. Have yourself a fantastic weekend, friend, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.